And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere. And I'm not sure where to start. First of all, we got the President Trump, President Putin meeting in Alaska. Went very well. They're mad that he didn't solve the Ukraine war one day, but aside from that, it went pretty well. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the D.C. federal takeover continues. One group of people are happy about the takeover because they want the crime and violence to come to an end. Another group are unhappy because they don't want the crime and violence to end. Maybe they don't want their drug dealers to get locked up. Maybe they don't want the underclass of the city to do anything but be the underclass. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, did you guys see my video I put out about the migrant trucker? Well, the alleged migrant trucker who decided to make a U-turn on the interstate, which of course blocked all traffic on one whole side of the interstate, causing an accident that took the lives of 3 people. Did you guys see that? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Texas Democrats, are they going to come back anytime soon? Who is supporting them? Who are the champions of these people? It shouldn't be anybody because of what they're doing. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. And we'll talk about everything tonight. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. I'm sorry for being late. My camera worked perfectly earlier today, making my video. Everything was fine. I'm like, okay, cool. It'll be fine for the stream. I get ready to stream. Elgato, no signal. Oh, really? That's what we're going to do right now? Now, normally when the camera thing happens, if I just reboot right quick, it'll come right back on and it's no problem. But this time I wasn't doing it. I'm like, okay, now I got to get a little bit deeper. So I had went down and collected my other equipment. You remember this camera right here? Remember this camera from back? When my camera went down one time, I had to get this camera right here. This is the Canon PowerShot V10. I had to get this one and I had to get this because I was going to just have it like that and use that as a camera if that camera right there didn't work. This camera is a Sony Alpha 6400. Hey, the camera was expensive. It might have been like $2,000 or something like this, but it's been worth every penny. The problem is the infrastructure that connects the camera to the actual computer. You would think in 2025, we get all this technology that fits in our pocket that you can watch a whole movie on. You can watch the entire history of television on your phone. Okay. But somehow the camera cannot connect to the computer properly. I mean, make it make sense, but we good. We are in here. We're in the building. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you enjoy what you are hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a whole lot going on. Hey, you know what? I love what's happening with DC. I love what's happening with DC so much because of the first and foremost, I love that the residents of DC are finally getting some justice. They're finally getting some relief. They're finally getting what they need, which is an increased police presence. And I've been saying this for years and years. Y'all know me. Y'all know y'all guys been there from the very beginning. Shout out to you guys. Or if you came on recently, it doesn't really matter. Y'all know me at this point. I've been saying the police are the last bastion of hope in the community. A lot of these poor areas, lower class areas, they're the last bastion of hope. To the gentrifiers, to the recent people, to the government people who are from Iowa and been living in DC for 3 months, okay, you live over in your neck of the woods with Adams, Morgan, or whatever it is. You live over there, away from the southeast part, away from Anacostia, away from Bendon Road, Minnesota Ave, Pennsylvania Ave. Okay, you don't live anywhere near certain parts of PG, not all of PG. PG is a nice place. You don't live in areas where the people who say, hey, we need this help are living. So to you, it's not really a big deal. This is the problem that happens all over the country. in a lot of these soft on crime places, because the people who say, let's be soft on crime, hey, let's give Walmart Tavius a slap on the wrist for that double homicide he committed. Okay, let's give him 5 years for the double homicide he committed when he was 16 years old, because he was a minor, he was a child, he didn't do nothing. See, that kind of behavior doesn't affect them as much in these nicer places, because they're not dealing with the crime and violence every single day. I lived in hood areas. I've been around the drugs and the guns and everything as a child. It is not a fun place to be. It is not a fun thing to have to get told, hey, when they start shooting, get on the ground. What I was told is, if it get really bad, get to the center of the house and get in the tub. Because if you're in if you're in an apartment, usually the center of the apartment, maybe even center of a house, is the bathroom. So you want to get in the center and then get in the tub. Because if the bullets come in, it's going to be harder for them to penetrate through the wall and reach you if you're in the center of the house. And if they do reach you, it's going to hit some of that porcelain and some of that wood, so you get a little bit of a cushion. But definitely get down low to prevent the gunshots from hitting you. And I done heard gunshots so many nights, it's just like regular. When I was living in Portsmouth, Virginia, you would hear gunshots on the regular, especially toward the end when the Barbie people came, when the project people came, it was even worse. But when I came to Chesapeake, in a more, suburb type place, it was noisier, but it was quieter. And that makes any sense. You go from an urban area where you're hearing urban sounds, traffic, gunshots, people just talking, you're hearing all that. And then you go to hearing crickets and mosquitoes and frogs. Yeah, you're hearing like TV static, shh, and ribbit all night. That's all you're hearing. It's much different than bang, 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 bang all night. But the gunshots, I got so used to that type of, it became loud to go live in the suburb area where all the ribbit and all that all night. My point is, if you're living in one area versus the other area, your perception of what crime is, your perception of what's happening in the city is going to be different. So that's why people that's not from DC, people that don't live in DC, people that don't go to these neighborhoods in DC, people who don't live there don't understand it as much. People that are in West, where, nowhere near DC are having an opinion. A lot of these so-called protesters, where are you from? Okay, ma'am, you are from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. What do you know about the southeast part of DC? Not a thing. What do you know about Baloo? What do you know about Marionberry? What do you know about Berry Farms? Nothing. Do you go down Anacostia and hang out? No, you don't. You just take whatever the mainstream media gives you. You just take whatever your professors gave you. You just take whatever your crazy bulldagger mama and her partner give you. That's what you get. So I'm glad that the real residents of DC say, you know what? Nah, we want this. We need it. We've been asking for it for years. And finally, somebody came and did it. And you know what? I think this should be done all over the country. I don't care what color they are. I don't care if you got a bunch of YNs locked up. You could be a YN, a YW, a YA. I don't care what race you are. If you want to misbehave, if you want to be thugging and drugging, you can go. Hey, big rocks, little rocks. If I was a king, I would build FEMA camps and put all of y'all in them. I catch you with drugs on the street immediately. You out of there. ASAP. Trump and all of them are much more gracious than I am. They're giving you treatment and all this. They're giving you shelter and treatment and resources, man. Please, over there. You got to get up out of there ASAP. So I'm glad this is happening. And you know what? One more thing I want to say before I keep on moving. And we got more videos and testimony from DC. So be on lookout for that. But one thing I like is that this validates what I've been saying for years and years and years and years, despite being called all types of names, all types of racial slurs. Oh, you just love the white man. The funny part is that it's mostly black folks saying the same thing that I'm saying the same thing that I've been saying since my whole life, basically. And it's the whites who are saying something different. Not all, but you see the videos are coming out. Who's talking about we need an increase on the law enforcement? Majority black. Who's saying we don't? It's majority white. And it's not about a race thing. It's about, hey, I'm living here and I experience it. Versus, well, I live near here and I'm guilty and I'm a liberal and I hate President Trump. That's where that comes from. Okay, so now we're starting to understand it's not necessarily about race. It's more about just your perception and what reality is. The truth versus what you believe in your head, which may not be the truth. But there's a lot we got going on. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling with me. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. That's right, we're without a reason. Criminals don't care what color you are. Criminals are criminals regardless. Criminals are going to criminal. That's just what they do. You know, it is what it is. So I'm so glad that he's doing this. And I'm glad that President Trump was able to meet President Putin out there in Alaska. That's a very good thing. People talking about, oh, well, he didn't part the Red Sea. It's like, look, at the end of the day, what I want Trump to do is to build some bridges, to be diplomatic. I don't want to have war. I don't want to have a leader that is warmongering. I don't want to have a leader that is leading us in the wrong direction. So I'm glad that Trump went ahead and did that. I thought it was a good moment, but we're going to get into more of that from the summit out there in Alaska. I'm liking the way that the country is going. I like what we're doing here for sure. And I want more of it. I'm not sure if it'd be JD Vance, Marco Rubio, maybe even DeSantis still. He might still be in the mix talking about 2028, but I want what we have going to continue. I don't want the old state, the deep state to get back in there because they think they're so smart. They think they're so educated, but the things that they do harm us. The migrant crisis. Oh, we got a big brain idea. We're going to bring in 100 million, I'm exaggerating, migrants to bring down the cost of labor, which will reduce inflation. Did it actually work? I'm not really sure. But even if it did, reducing the wages means that we all have our wages reduced. So let's just say that there was a drop in prices, but there's also a drop in the wages. You're not making it make sense. You're dropping the truckers' wages to get more truckers in to make the cost cheaper because it's cheaper to truck. But now that profession has lowered. So now it's difficult to get Americans and actually good drivers to get the CDL and get on the road. They're dumb. They don't understand. The Democrats, what they do things like one step ahead, just one step. And then they worry about what happens next after that. They don't think really far ahead. They think for the right now. And then once we get to later on, we'll figure it out then. Just like with Kamala Harris. Okay, you put her in there in 2020 because you thought that'd be good for you to win. You got a black woman, quote unquote, although she's not black. You got her paired with Joe Biden. Even at 1,000 years old, he's still an Obama relic. People like him from that. They recognize him from that. Okay, boom, that'll work. We'll figure out what we're going to do with Joe Biden being 1,000 years old once he gets to be 1,004 years old. And we'll figure out what we're going to do with Kamala not being able to put two words together once we get to the actual DNC in 2020. And we got to tell everybody, oops, well, hey, Biden, he's not going to be able to run. We're going to run sob stories on Wall Street Journal and everywhere else to tell the American people they just can't make it. And but you know what? He can't make it, but you have to salute this man for sacrificing and giving himself to keep democracy going. It's like, is that what we got to do for real? You plan this out a little bit, but you didn't think about how to actually execute it at the end. That's why you lost. And I hope that they continue to do stuff like that because they lose again. They lose again. So for me, that works. If they want to be incompetent like that and kick the can down the road, that works perfectly fine for me. I have no problem. That is all good. We'll take 2028. We'll take 2026. We'll take the midterms. Midterms, we got that. 2028, we got that. 2030 midterms, 2032 election, and so on and so on and so on. So I'm all for it. I like it. I love it. I want more of it. Shout out Tim McGraw. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. We got a lot happening here. The main thing is going to be that conference and the DC takeover. There's a lot happening, but before we get into anything, shout out to you guys again for joining, and I apologize for being late. It's not my fault. You got to blame the white man for messing with the camera connection, but thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up. And also, you guys are the best sponsors, the first sponsors, but shout out to the other sponsors. PatriotPost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Of course, again, link will always be in the description box or on the website, anthonyblogan.com. Go to anthonyblogan.com and go to the front page of the website. You can find articles for each long form video that I do right there on the front page. And in each article, you'll be able to find sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok, which I hate. All those links are going to be right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. TikTok, a quick rant. I'm trying. I'm really trying. I know I got to reach the youngins. You know, I'm a fossil basically on social media to a certain extent. So I'm trying to reach the youngins, right? Well, I'm not old for here, but I'm old for TikTok. I'm trying to reach them, but like TikTok is so weird. They want to like, they got monetization over there, but they're like disqualify you for stupid stuff. They're talking about it's a security issue. I'm like, man, look, I don't even really want to deal with it. I'd rather would just stay Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. TikTok I hate, but it's just so dominant, it's kind of hard to avoid it. So, I mean, look, if I can't get it right, then oh well, man. It is what it is. So be it. But I'm going to try to get TikTok rocking and rolling for you. And before we continue, I have an announcement. I think I told you guys I was in LA recently, right? So some of y'all may have seen this. Maybe you saw me in the actual ad, but I am on Jubilee again. We'll see how it goes. I'm not sure. That was kind of a strange. I think once they release it, I'll talk about it, but it was kind of strange. So they are coming out with this episode featuring Amanda Seales and a bunch of us black conservatives. What's the thing? One radical liberal versus 20 black conservatives. Okay. That's coming out on Jubilee tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow you'll be able to see this. Hold on, give me a second. I ain't going to move that like that. I'm messing up already. Hold on. Let me just scoot that over there. There we go. All right. What I wanted to do was just center this, but it's not centering. Let's just play it. Here's a teaser from Jubilee. One black liberal versus 20 black conservatives. I am on this, and it'll premiere tomorrow on Sunday, August 17th, 2025. Check it out.
Culture is toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no fathers in the
white
black
culture
home. Let's talk about that.
Stop. We all deserve a right to exist, and I shouldn't have to earn my right to exist. And that is what capitalism
What makes you think
does.
that you have to earn it? That's what I'm saying.
That is what
I
this
don't feel
nation
that way.
is. You do have to earn it.
You don't have to earn
Yes,
it.
you do.
We are
That
in
is why
America,
we are
Amanda.
criminalizing the poor. Well, here's
So
what
when
you all keep doing.
No.
So you see me right there. And look, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the behind the scenes stuff. So this was really funny. I'm up here, bald head, skin head, looking like I'm about to go with a tiki torch. So I drive down to the airport, right? From Chattanooga to Atlanta. I drive down to the airport. I leave my We the People hat in the car. But then it's like, all right, I can't really go back and get it. I'm pretty much out back. I'm going to just go and that's it. Okay. And when you get there, it's like it's a bunch of security all over the place. It's in kind of a hood area. This is why I put the video out you guys may have seen about LA having some really, 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 really beautiful areas, Manhattan Beach and stuff like that, really nice, but also some really ghetto areas. Inglewood, Slauson, Crenshaw, all of that. Like the stuff you see on TV, Training Day, that's real. They had this out in there. That's where Jubilee is, in that kind of environment. So you pull up on it, it's a big gate. It's like the gate is like a wall. It's all stuff like that out there in LA. Big wall gates. So they talk about how racist it is to have a southern border wall. They got border walls everywhere. They got border walls in auto body shops, regular stores. It was a mess. Big gate, barbed wire, security dude outside, talking about something into your pockets. I was like, okay. You go in there, it's like a big open warehouse. The staff and everything, they were cool, good people. And they sit you in certain seats. Right where I was sitting right here, as you can see, it's like right in shot with the table. It was a camera right there, like on this side. It was a camera right there facing me. And of course, you could see Amanda and whoever's right there at the table. So ultimately, I think I did okay. I could have done better, but I did okay. And again, this will come out on tomorrow, Sunday the 27th. All right, but I'm gonna play some more of this.
You keep interrupting me when I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the point that I'm going to make.
The point that
and
you're
yet
raising,
you want me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works. If I show you respect, give me the respect back. Whew, I knew I was going to be surrounded by ignorance, but damn, let's go. My first claim is it is undeniable that reparations are just and necessary. My next claim is that black-on-black crime is a result of underinvestment and over-policing. My next claim is systemic racism.
Now, one thing about what she's doing right here, my next claim. They had her say the lines like a few times. Okay, say my next claim is, and then that'll go into it. This will be heavily edited. Some parts may have happened at the beginning. Some parts may have been toward the end. You may not even see me. I'm not sure if they're going to show me or not. We'll see if they're going to, I don't know how they're going to do it, but it will be heavily edited for sure. Just for context, I think I might have spoken twice because the way it works, she presents a prompt and you have to raise your hand and be chosen by the people to go up there. But they want you to believe that you actually run up there. They stopped their running going up there like they had it with Charlie because people were getting injured and they weren't trying to get sued.
Racism isn't a theory. It's our lived reality backed by data and history. My final claim is black conservatism fails to meet the needs of the working class. Greetings.
And I definitely answered that question at the end. And my answer, to give you a preview, if they don't show it, my answer was, we're all about the working class. We're the ones actually telling people to go out there and do something and build something and be somebody and get skills. You guys on the left, and she kept saying she wasn't a leftist. I'm like, all right. I said, you guys on the left are all about handouts and assistance and what you can take from the government. We're talking about what we can build, what we can give to the government. How can we give to society? What do we have to contribute to society? That was my answer to her question.
I'm Amanda Seals, widely known as a comedian, an actress, a disruptor, an annoying person on the internet who always tells the truth. And I am now an artistic intellectual who commits myself to making art that educates. And today, I am surrounded by 20 black conservatives.
So there we go. That'll come out again tomorrow. Now, somebody asked, how long was the whole shoot? The whole shoot, okay, so we got there 9 a.m. and we were done by 2 p.m. So it was a pretty long shoot. It was a long shoot. And she was, if y'all know about Amanda Seals, when she was young, like a child, she was a child star, and her name was Amanda Diva. And she was 100% a diva. Came in with a big bodyguard. This dude was like, he looked like me, but like double my size. He looked like me, but double my size. I'm like, who is this wall of a man you got with you? She had a bodyguard. She came in there with a cup of coffee and she had an iPad. Like, I came in there with no phone, no nothing, no notes, no phone, no nothing, just talking. She had an iPad with notes, coffee, all of that ready. I was like, word, is that what we do? But it'd be interesting. It'd be very, very interesting. I thought it would have been better if we had a man, to be totally honest, because she got kind of emotional. I don't know. It was weird, but you'll see again coming up tomorrow. Anyway, let's go to what Trump was over there in Alaska getting involved with. So good handshake in the beginning. Okay, good handshake. And of course, we got the buzz. Now, some were saying, well, shouldn't this be a flyover? I'm not quite sure if the B-2 bombers and the F-22 jets flying over at this moment is a flyover. When I hear flyover, I'm thinking about like a baseball game or something like this. Football game, Army, Navy. I'm thinking about that. Not just two guys, leaders of state, meeting on the tarmac. I don't think about that as a flyover. It's kind of a buzz. It's like, okay, let's just show that right now. Is it F-35 jets? Pardon me. Thank you. I mean, listen, if you see something like that in real life, it like seeing it in a video does not do it justice. You guys, if you've not been to an air show, you got to go. You must go at some point in your life. Seeing these machines in person and hearing them and feeling them, nothing like it. So yeah. Oh yeah, definitely that was to show strength. Absolutely. And I believe he did accomplish that goal 100%. Man, yeah. So if you ever get to see a B-2 bomber, if you get to see a B-2 bomber in real life, you take advantage of it. Go do it. Go see it. Go see it. Go to an air show. Go see the Blue Angels. See all of that. It is really something to see in person. When you're real close up on it, ain't nothing like it. Now look, okay. So, of course, what they're going to do is comb through footage. So the left talking about, well, why can't Trump walk in the straight line? Okay, why can't he walk in the straight line? Now, here's my question. How many people always walk in a direct straight line? Also, let's not forget, Trump did have a little something to happen, right? Remember the ear injury he had back in Pennsylvania? Remember that whole thing with the gunman? Somebody died, remember? Okay. Maybe, just maybe, you don't want to walk in the straight line. I'll play it as I'm talking. Maybe you don't want to walk in the straight line because the last time you were stationary, you almost got hit. And the only thing that saved you was not being stationary. So I'll walk in a little zigzag pattern as well. Why not? I don't want some crazed lunatic out in Alaska that somehow got through the cracks to have a chance at being able to sight me from however many yards away. Okay. But they're trying to break that down and saying, oh, he can't walk in the straight line. Well, I didn't know it was a field sobriety test. I didn't know it was, okay, walk in a straight line, touch your toes, touch your head, count to 15, count backwards, count from Z to A in that order. I didn't know it was that. But of course, the media always does that kind of thing. J-Flo said, zigzag for freedom. Exactly. That's right, Captain Trips. At least he can walk up the stairs, unlike Joe Biden. If it was Joe Biden, he would have been on the ground with his feet up in the air. I'd rather you zigzag and not walk perfectly straight than to fall on the ground with your feet up in the air. That's what I would prefer. But anyway, so here is Trump and Putin and the Beast. Now, the story about Trump and Putin and the Beast, okay, you see him right here. The story about Trump and Putin and the Beast, Trump's vehicle, the armored vehicle, is that there was a vehicle for Putin on the tarmac, but for some reason he didn't get in it and he rode with Trump. Now, I think it's a good thing for the world. It's good optics. It's showing good relations between the U.S. and Russia. I mean, why not? Why not have good relations with a superpower? Why not be on friendly terms? You guys aren't best friends. You guys aren't going to do things that are going to damage your own country for the other country, but let's have peaceful and pleasant relations? Why must it be adversarial? Why can't we all just get along? But anyway, here is Trump and Putin and the beast. So they chilling, they're chilling. You got Putin smiling. Trump and Harry just chilling, just doing their thing. I see nothing wrong with that at all. I see nothing wrong with that. I like that. I like how you can show strength, right? You got the B-2s, the F-35s, the F-22s and whatnot in the air. You have that going on. But let's also have some camaraderie. Let's also be cordial with each other. Why not? What's wrong with that? Okay, now here is a little bit from like the ending of the event. Can I get that? Well, it'll be all right. I can hear it. Let's get some sound. That might help.
I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on. Most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite gotten there, but we've made some headway. So there's no deal until there's a deal. I will call up NATO in a little while. I will call up the various people that I think are appropriate, and I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting. It's ultimately up to them. They're going to have to agree with what Marco and Steve and some of the great people from the Trump administration who've come here, Scott and John Radcliffe. Thank you very much. But we have some of our really great leaders. They've been doing a phenomenal job. We also have some tremendous Russian business representatives here, and I think everybody wants to deal with us. We've become the hottest country anywhere in the world in a very short period of time, and we look forward to that. We look forward to dealing. We're going to try and get this over with. We really made some great progress today. All
right, there we go. So one of the main things was the Ukraine peace deal. Of course, you're not going to be able to get there right away, so he's still working on that. So he was referring to that. He's talking about, well, there's no deal till there's a deal. He said they made some headway. They've been able to make some progress, but there's no actual deal on a Ukraine peace deal. I think what needs to happen with Ukraine is it'll be taken by Russia. I don't really see another option because what's Europe going to do? Just try to keep fighting? And I don't really understand what the end goal is. Like, what do you want to happen with Ukraine? Do you think that if Russia takes Ukraine, they're going to take all of Russia? I mean, all of Europe? Is that the fear? At a certain point, Europe is kind of becoming like Russia anyway. Not because of Russia, but because of Europeans and their lack of fertility. You got entire towns just kind of crumbling. So it's going to be like Russia anyway. It might be better if Russia has more influence. I'm not saying they should, but ultimately, I don't know what their end game is. And I don't think that trying to prop up Ukraine is really going to work. Now, here's a good quote from Putin about the Ukraine war, saying, you know what? If Trump was a president, it wouldn't have even happened.
I'd like to remind you that in 2022, during the last contact with the previous administration, I tried to convince my previous American colleague that the situation should not be brought to the point of no return when it would come to hostilities. And I said it quite directly back then that it's a big mistake. Today, when President Trump is saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure that it would indeed be so. I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good, business-like and trustworthy contact. And I have every reason to believe that moving down this path, we can come, and the sooner the better, to the end of the conflict in Ukraine. I'd like to remind you that in
All right, there we go. So you're hearing it straight from Vladimir Putin himself. I'm seeing somebody in the comments says, you don't know what the deal? You don't know what the deal is? Do some research. Ain't no deal. Like, hey, Smokey, Mr. Smokey, if you know what the deal is, just let me know. Let the class know what the deal is. If you know something I don't know. What I'm saying right now is what has been reported. I said that there's no deal on Ukraine, but they've made some progress. So if you know more than I do, then please let the class know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you.
President.
All righty, let's keep on going.
President Putin wants to see that as much as I do. So, again, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much, and we'll speak to you very soon and probably see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't know. I'll get a little heat on that one, but I could see it possibly happening. Thank you very much, Vladimir. And thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
So what do y'all think? Should the next event, the next summit be in Moscow? Because, you know, this one, again, this was in Alaska. And, of course, the relevance of Alaska is that it's very close to Russia. It's like right there. You know, some of them islands right across is Russia. And people that live in them far islands have been living there for a long time. They're very similar to Russians who live in that same area. They live the same kind of fishing, cold lifestyle. It's the same thing. So that's why they had the summit in Alaska. Now, next time, maybe in Moscow, who knows? Or how about this? How about let's have Trump, Putin, and Zelensky in one room in D.C., in the Oval Office, everybody together, and let's figure it out right there. Or at least try to figure it out. Let's do that. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Now, here's Putin. I guess Putin doesn't really have this kind of issue that Trump has when you're talking about the press. Because over here, the press can ask you anything. They got freedom. But in Russia, maybe it's a little bit different. So his reaction to the press just shouting out stuff is a little bit funny. But let's watch.
Press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Let's go. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, press. Let's go.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you,
press.
It's like, yo, what's going on? Like, I mean, all this yelling and carrying on, all this hooting and hollering, what is going on here? Yeah, that's that press, man. You could do that over here. I don't know about Russia. Or maybe the customs and manners are a little bit different. People don't shout out of turn. But over here, yeah, they're going to do that, unfortunately.
Thank you, press.
So, yeah, that right there is a look that you pretty much would give. All right, so shout out to Putin. Yeah, he's like, what are we doing? What's going on about all the hooting and hollering? Now, some say that President Trump was upset with Vladimir Putin after the meeting. But this is them after the meeting. Okay, there's no sound, but just check out the body language. You see Putin and they go Trump. They kind of just chilling, really. Now, I wonder if he's speaking English right there, or if he's speaking Russian, having the translator translate. Okay, so it seems to be pretty good right there. Good body language, nice and relaxed. Trump the same way. It seems pretty good. I don't really see an issue in this moment. So, yeah, shout out to President Trump and Putin. Okay, I like it. I like to see big nations, superpower nations coming together and having some peace. Okay, now this is, let's see if I can just get this. All right, so on his way back, he pays respects to a U.S. Soviet World War II Alliance Memorial in Russia. Okay, so let's watch this. Hey, I like it. I like it. I don't see the problem. But you know, some people don't like when nations like Russia, China, US get along. I don't really understand. I guess they like perpetual war, people dying for no reason. I guess that's their whole thing that they enjoy. To me, it's weird, but hey, it's whatever. It is whatever. So shout out to the Russians. Hey, they good people. They good people. And I think they want what we want, which is securities for our nations. The best thing for our people. That's what we want. It's not even about trying to hurt anyone else, although that could happen, unfortunately, in the process.
It's not.
Okay, so here is Trump on the plane. I think this might be before the talk or after. I can't really tell. But he's on Air Force One.
It's not for me to negotiate a deal for Ukraine, but I can certainly set the table to negotiate the deal. And our next meeting will have President Zelensky and President Putin and probably me. I'd like to focus on doing our country, but, you know, I get these interruptions. I've solved 6 wars in 6 months when you think about it. It's not for me to negotiate a deal for you.
All right, there we go. Again, out there on Air Force One. Beautiful plane. Beautiful plane. Now, this is most certainly after, and he's talking to Sean Hannity, and he's going to give the rating of the meeting. He's going to rate the meeting with President Putin. All right, let's check it out.
If you had to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10.
So I think the meeting was a 10 in the sense that we got along great, and it's good when, you know, 2 big powers get along, especially when they're nuclear powers. You know, we're number 1, they're number 2 in the world, and it's a big deal. That's a big deal. You never want to even mention that word, the word nuclear, but we have a tremendous nuclear. You know, I rebuilt it when I was president, first term, and I hated to rebuild it. It was the one thing I hated to rebuild, but we had to, and we have the greatest nuclear force. We have the greatest military in the world, actually, and they have a big nuclear presence also.
If you had...
There it is. So I think that Trump believes it went well, and I think that's like the general sentiment. Of course, the media, they're not really going to say it like that. They always, at this point, you can't really trust the narrative from the media. We're talking about cold hard facts they can prove with evidence. That's one thing, but you're talking about narrative and opinion. I would not trust the media at all. But what do y'all think? Have you heard anything about the meeting? Have you been following the meeting? What are your thoughts about the meeting? Was it good, positive, productive? Y'all let me know. Okay, y'all let me know. Sandra says, what's my take on Jackie? I'm not sure who you're talking about specifically. Was that reporter that said that it was something wrong with the meeting? I'm not sure who Jackie is. You gotta fill me in on that one. Matter of fact, hold on. Before I continue, let me just make sure that I'm not thinking about the wrong thing. Yeah, I'm not sure who that is. You gotta let me know in the comments. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yes, Hannity is still on TV. Yes, he is still on TV. You know, Hannity ain't going nowhere because Fox ain't going nowhere. Fox is like the only station that exists on TV at all that covers anything political, conservative, with a conservative lean or positive. Well, I take that back. They got News Nation and Newsmax, but you're talking about probably the majority of Americans, they're going to be watching Fox News and that's it. If it's something that's conservative television. Who watches TV? Hey, man, some people still watch TV. Believe it or not, some people still watch TV. I guess it's enough people that watch TV for Fox and whatnot to still be on. Okay. Jackie O, Nurse Jackie, you guys are funny. Okay, so look, D.C., you got tourists coming in and they might be a little taken aback by the National Guard presence. You know what? Check it out. I want to say this. Okay, Jackie on Fox. Okay. And we're getting to the Subway sandwich, Peg. I got you. I do have you. Now, if I go to DC and I see National Guard, I feel safe. I feel totally safe. I feel like, okay, I can go here. And you know what? It's to the point now where I'd go to DC. The last time I was in DC, I did not feel safe. I'm seeing boarded up windows, glass shot out. I'm seeing Antifa. Let me tell you my story. I'm going to tell you my story about Antifa and how I met one of them after we watch what's happening right here in DC with the National Guard. loving the tanks, not tanks, the Humvees, loving the Humvees. And you see the white liberal guy, hold on. Shame, shame, shame. Okay, you in your pajamas, go back to your mama's house. How about that? But anyway, so let me tell you my story. So boom, I'm in DC. I go there for one of the marches they had with Blexit, Candace Owens, all of them. I'm there for that. It was about 2,000 of us, black and browns, in DC with a police escort. As we're getting ready for one leg of the march, me and Black Hannity, shout out Black Hannity for you out there. We are in this parking lot area, and there was this Antifa dude, but he was kind of older. Like he might have been in his late 40s, perhaps. Long beard. He looked like he works at GameStop and got radical. You understand what I'm saying? Hold on. I'm gonna give you an example, and once you get it in your mind, it'll make sense. Okay. What's the video game guy from The Simpsons? What's the video game guy from The Simpsons? Okay, yeah. Here we go. Perfect. So take this picture, and a mage. Okay, that perfect. Here we go. Yeah. Lord of the Rings mage. As a matter of fact, this is absolutely perfect. Let me get him with the staff, because the staff is really important. And I'm going somewhere, y'all just hang with me. Okay, cool. So think like this right here, this guy. If this guy was mixed with that guy right here. Okay, take this guy with the staff and everything, and the beard and the clothing, but instead of having this kind of slender type of aesthetic, it's more like that. Okay, just like that. Like he's like he was cosplaying a little bit, cosplaying. So anyway, you out there in the parking lot, this guy looking like Gandalf, cosplay, has a big staff. He's tall. He's like 6'5". He's tall, and he is banging a super plate, chanting. I don't know what he was chanting, but Black Hannity was like, "Oh, what he's doing is sending a signal to the other Antifa. I guess they can hear him banging the sewer plate on other sewer plates in the so that they were communicating through the sewer plate." So I swear that's exactly what happened. This guy looking like Gandalf the Dark was out there in DC. So when I saw that, you're like, you know what? I'm good. Don't worry about it. Hey, y'all got it. I'm straight. I don't even want to go out there. But now that we got National Guard, I feel safe. Now, okay, cool. I can go out there. Because I know Gandalf ain't going to start tripping if we got these Humvees out there and the National Guard and the police and everybody else watching what's happening. Entitlement wizard, basement wizard, hilarious. Okay, now we got some patrols. We got U.S. Marshals out there patrolling in D.C. And you see the kind of people that's out here in these places. These are not DC natives. If they are from DC, it's not Washington D.C. the city. It is Annandale, Virginia, Chevy Chase, Maryland, Bethesda, Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland, Waldorf, Bowie, Falls Church.
Not good though.
So I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing. And they pretty much chilling. It's not really no big deal. Yeah, they chilling. It's all good. Don't start none, won't be none. That's how it should be. But their presence alone is a deterrent from the criminals who want to commit acts of violence. I love it. Shout out to the marshals, the guard, the police, everybody out there. Everyone out there. Shout out to them. Now, I'm not sure where they are right here. This could be New York. It could be D.C., but it doesn't really matter. See, they're out there banging the pans, just like the dude was banging the sewer plate. It's the same thing. It's like, is that a new signal? So we caught on to your sewer plate method, and we went ahead and foiled that. So is your new thing banging no pots and pans? Because you won't use the pots and pans to cook no food, you ain't cooking no dinner, no lunch, no breakfast, no nourishment, no nothing. Since you won't use it for that, you use it for nefarious purposes, like being parts of Antifa and whatnot. I mean, look, if you're going to be outside banging on pots and pans, at least have rhythm like the real DC people would. And a real DC person would not be out there at night just banging no pots and pans for no reason. They're going to be out there in the daytime on the subway or something like this, playing some instruments and getting tips, not just like you're 5 years old playing with toys. Oh, got a little sign right here. Okay, I guess it's a starving Gaza person. Stop starving Gaza. Stop killing kids. Let aid in. Handela is hungry. Is that who you sponsoring in Gaza? You're probably paying that to some fat dude in Turkey. Talking about I'm Handela, I'm hungry. Nah, you paying that to somebody's whole family in Istanbul. But anyway. Yeah, so they are in DC. Look, man, see all of that right there? Clean all that up. Hey, listen, National Guard, if you can hear my voice, if you can see my face, listen to me very well. Can y'all please get that up right there? Hey, can y'all please get that up right there? That'd be fantastic. Ain't nobody trying to see all this mess, garbage on the ground. You know, that's one thing I hate a lot. What I hate a lot are people who throw food, waste, anything on the floor. I hate that so much. You guys are the scum of the earth. I promise. I'll put you right next to people that, you know, want to play with guns and kill people. It's that bad. Oh, that's not DC. That's UK. I'm sorry. That's UK, I believe, right? But yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Yeah, that's you're right. That's London. I thought it was DC, but that's London. I was like, wait a minute, that ain't Capitol Hill. That's the Big Ben and all that kind of good stuff. Now we're back in DC. Now we're back in DC, and this is Navy Yard down like Subway, I suppose, right? And we got some guard, ICE, etc. coming through, and a lot of your DC white liberals are none too pleased with them. This is a pretty funny exchange. Check it out. Hey, did y'all hear that? She's like, you could choose to do something else. You could do something else. He's like, well, you could choose to eat a salad. How about that? Hey, the ICE guys, everybody, all law enforcement, you guys keep doing what you do. We support you 100%. Don't back down to these imbeciles, these mouth breathers. Don't back down at all. That right there is a fantastic display. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate it. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. We got some more people out here. These are going to be the people who say they're going to defeat us in some kind of way, whether it's at the ballot box, whether it's physical, whatever they want to do, whatever they think they're going to do. This is them. Let's watch. Not very intimidating. You know what I want to do? What you know what I'd rather see? What I'd rather see is this man right here with the running shorts lead some kind of aerobics class, Zumba, spin, walk club, running club, or something, because I'm seeing some big backs in the crowd that are not going to be able to make it. Hey man, if things get rough, you're not going to be able to make it. So yeah, that's what I'd rather see rather than all this carrying on. All right. And what do y'all think? Are they going to be are they going to be difficult opponents to get past, or is it going to be a cakewalk, or will they even fight? Now, this character right here, who I'm going to show you, might be one of the lead combatants. And hey, man, I don't know about y'all, but what I'm going to do for this person, I'm going to train, make sure I'm doing 800 push-ups a day, make sure I'm eating all my stuff, all the salmon and rice and everything every day. No sweets, no sugar, no salt, no fat. Because I want to be in tip-top physical condition to defeat this individual right here. Yes, I do. Okay. I don't want to see this person gender. Listen, at this point, 2025, I don't want to guess nobody's gender. I don't know what's going on anymore. I feel like we got aliens among us and they just playing games. Talking about, so I'm not a girl, a boy or a girl. You're probably not. You're probably a whole space alien. But anyway, let's hear from this individual, shall we?
Follow the cops home, starting with the highest ranking ones. Start little music festivals at the cops' houses and live stream images with their home address in the frame. You don't have to technically dox somebody to dox them, right? Follow.
Okie dokie. First of all, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it to anybody. Don't do it to this person. Again, the gender, I'm going to go ahead and say male, but I don't know what's going on. So I'm just assuming, right? But don't do it to him or them or anybody else. That's just not right. Following me home, don't do that either, because that's an easy way to get put somewhere else. Right now, you're here among us. If you do something like that, you might not be here among us, because people don't really take that too kindly. Yeah, that whole following you home and all of that, don't harass people. And you know what? They would not have to be out there doing what they're doing if you guys on the left did not subject us to all of what's going on right now. Again, the biggest issue of the election was a migrant crisis. You flooded us with migrants, 20 million of them at least. It caused us a bunch of issues, from the economic, from the security, from the housing. Everything was damaged by them. So now it's time to fix it. The crime, the violence, everything's got to stop. And you, sir, are not going to get in the way. So yeah, shout out to him. Hey, I'm telling you, I'm going to eat my Wheaties. I'm going to eat everything I can, all my vitamins, my Flintstone vitamins, all of that, to make sure I'm in tip-top shape for when that guy is at my doorstep. And again, please, to everybody, left, right, black, white, don't do that. Do not do that. That is the absolute wrong thing to do. You got a problem with somebody, just stick to the interwebs, okay? Just do it that way. Or how about this? Go out there and vote if you don't like it. To the dude that was up there, anybody else, if you don't like what's happening, then vote differently and change it that way. Yeah. Okay, so this person says the Subway sandwich guy is a hero. And hold on, one of you guys wanted me to talk about the Subway sandwich guy. Okay, hold on. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. But the guy who threw a Subway sandwich at an ICE officer or police officer is now facing charges. Okay, so let me just play the first video if you guys didn't see it, and then I'm going to show you someone's reaction to it. All right, and we get to see this character right here. All right, Washington D.C. bro. I wonder where his husband is, or his boyfriend, or both. Where's his daughter got monkeypox? Where are they at right now? If he was at home with the daughter got monkeypox and his husband, maybe he wouldn't be out here acting the fool on these cops. But anyway, here is a video in question. No sound, but he's upset and he throws a hero sandwich at the cop and then runs away. Why would you do that? This little slow jog. It's like, bro, this ain't your Sunday morning stroll with your pet Pomeranian. Okay. That was just dumb. You about to go to jail over a hero sandwich? You're stupid. You're just totally stupid. But hey, that's that. Now, here is someone's reaction to that video.
Through the sandwich in D.C. You know the guy.
I'm sorry from the top.
Guy who threw the sandwich in D.C. You know the guy I'm talking about. Straight effing gangsta. I love this guy so much.
The fucker. Okay, so that's the video again right there. What do y'all think? Straight effing gangster or just a moron? I think more of the latter, but y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all let me know in the comments below. Okay, now we got some liberals harassing police officers and they're being racist. You know, look, as long as I've been doing internet stuff, as long as I've been on the interwebs, as long as really I've been paying attention to politics, it's always the leftists who are racist. Always. It's never anything other than them. But they're the main ones who say racist, racist, racist. You're racist, you're racist, you're racist. But lets you not believe in what they believe in, and you are a different race than them. Then they want to get straight to the racism. If you're a black person and a liberal disagrees with you, they're going to call you immediately the N-word. Directly or indirectly. That's their automatic go-to instantly. If you're a black person who does not agree with the liberal, you're automatically the N-word. But they're so soft, they're not going to say it. They'll say it indirectly, passive aggressive. That's how they do. That's their hallmark. Or sometimes they feel emboldened when they feel like you can't do anything to them. So then they do stuff to you publicly, which just shows their hatred, their ignorance, and their racism. Let's watch.
I see a whole bunch of times right here.
You see a whole bunch of times right here.
That's what I see. I can't imagine being a black man and defending this shit.
I sure can't imagine being a black person defending this shit. I can't imagine being a black person and working for an organization that was rooted in slave catching, but that's just me. I think the closer you get to white supremacy, the better off you're gonna be. Hell no. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I saw the way they left them 5 black officers and hung them out to dry. They didn't protect you like they protect the white boys. Just want to let you know. What do you think?
Okay, so that's that. Now, first of all, you're not even black. I'm not sure what's going on with this color combination. But you're not black. You're not one of us. You're not a black person. Like, I'm a black person for real. I know a black when I see it, and that ain't you. And you're from Memphis. You're not from D.C. You're not even from Virginia or nowhere close. You're from out here, like Mississippi River. You're not from D.C. You don't understand what's really happening in the city. You don't get it. And you're a racist. You and your compadre, your compatriot, who is barely black himself. Talking about some, oh, I see a bunch of times here. It's crazy. But whenever I see stuff like that, it just lets me know that I'm doing the right thing by being how I am, rather than being with them. Okay, rather than being with them. Okay, let's keep on moving here. Looks like now this was crazy. Shout out to my man Nick Shirley. There was so much in this video. First of all, you have the guy who's trying to downplay the drug dealer selling drugs, trying to downplay it, talking about something he distributed narcotics. I don't want to characterize him as a drug dealer. And then you have the white liberal woman screeching, and the people who are right there are like, why is she doing so much? We don't like what she's doing. Let's watch some of this, shall we? And again, shout out to Nick Shirley, one of the best channels anywhere on these interwebs. Check them out.
Right here, they're arresting a homeless man. What's going on right here?
This man is being arrested.
For what did he do?
We're hearing that he was distributing narcotics.
Okay, so they're getting a drug deal off the street.
I don't want to characterize him.
I want to characterize him like that. He's a drug dealer.
I don't know.
All right, they're arresting this guy right here. They say that guy just said he was arrested for narcotics, so he's either a homeless man or a drug dealer here on the street. There you have in the bag whatever he was selling. They put it in the bag, so he was indeed selling drugs. Right now we have the FBI, the police, Secret Service. We got about 8 agents out here right now, and there is the bag right there with all the money and the drugs that he was selling on the street.
So I see what appears to be a belt coiled up.
Streets.
I can't tell what that is. It might be a belt right there. I'm thinking I might see a pistol, but I'm not quite sure if I see a pistol.
After he had been arrested, a protester showed up and went absolutely crazy on law enforcement.
Coward! Coward! Coward!
Hey, RIP in advance to the headphone users.
Cowards! Stay away from homeless people! You fascist punks! Get the fuck out!
This lady just arrived and she is screaming in the megaphone. I wonder if she knows that they just arrested a drug dealer off the streets of Washington D.C. Wow, you have a wow, you got a loud voice. Wow, she just came right in here. This lady is an angry woman.
Hey, hey, you know what? Lady, if you can hear me, if you can see me, you have a future in the metal band. I would love to hear your scream in the metal band. And please, somebody, please, I'm praying to the internet right now. Please make this video into a metal song. I would give anything to have that happen. Almost.
Stay away from homeless people! You fascist punk! Get out! Get the fuck out, bitches! Get out! Get out! Fuck you, motherfuckers! Get the fuck out! Out!
Do you realize that they did arrest a drug dealer?
Oh my God.
I mean, it's crazy because look, hold on, let me come back. It's like you don't really understand what's happening. The drug dealers are an issue and they're trying to get rid of the problem. They're trying to get rid of the issue. Why are you against a drug dealer being arrested? Is it because that was your plug? Was that your guy that got arrested? Like, what's going on? What is really happening? Okay, let me get to the next one here. Hold on. Give me a second. My eye, I gotta flush my eye right quick. But this one was crazy too.
Be careful, everybody! These two fucking punks are up to no good!
This lady just came.
Let me start from the top.
Be careful, everybody! These two fucking punks are up to no good!
This lady just came out of absolutely nowhere. She started yelling all sorts of things. She didn't even know what that guy got arrested for. Meanwhile, as we were walking, I'll show you guys right now, we walked past a bunch of homeless people. They weren't arresting just the homeless people. They could have came by and taken the homeless people off like the news has been saying, but no, they arrested the guy that was selling the drugs to the homeless people. Have they came by and tried to take you guys off the streets?
They've been respectful.
They've been respectful.
Yes, they have not been aggressive or anything.
Wow, that's good to hear, because they just took off a drug dealer from the streets.
That's all they want. All they want is the drug dealers off the street and the people dying. That's all they want.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want. They're not trying to buck with the homeless. They want the drug dealers and the guns off the street.
Yeah.
You can't tell
All right, I'm back.
that, but they already wanted the guns and the drugs. They already found that out. They came to jump out the same way. All they want is the guns and the drugs off the street.
So what have the law enforcement said to you guys coming through here? Because that lady just came here, she was yelling all at the police, but meanwhile we just saw them arrest a drug dealer, and she's yelling at, saying they're taking away the homeless people.
To us. They didn't say anything. They walked by respectfully. They didn't give anybody any issues. I don't have a problem with law enforcement.
And should people be angry that they just took a drug dealer off the street?
No, it shouldn't be. I'm happy that D.C. is being cleaned up. And I'm not going to blame it on racism or anything.
Did that lady wake you up?
Of course, it's a disturbance because she was provoking on purpose. And, you know, you always got people out here, they say they're for a cause, but, I mean, it's almost 11 o'clock at night. It's very peaceful. The police don't have sirens going or anything else, and they were just decently speaking with people, but there's always people that will try to cause a problem deliberately.
Well, we hope you have a great rest of your night and fall asleep well.
I hope so, too. I hope she doesn't come back on that blowhorn.
Exactly. So again, shout out to Nick Shirley. Somebody said, can I post a link to the video? Let me what I'm going to do, I'm going to repost it on my Twitter. Okay, I'm going to repost it right now on my Twitter. Because I don't know if I could post links. I might be able to. But just go to my Twitter, twitter.com or x.com/Anthony B. Logan. It'll be right there. I just retweeted it, so it'll be right there at the top. Okay, and again, his name is Nick Shirley. It's also on his page, on his Twitter, on his Instagram. Everywhere you can find him, it'll be there as well. All right, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That help me out tremendously. And my eye feels so much better. I got some water in there. Oh, man, it feels amazing. Shout out to H2O. Shout out to H2O. Okay, it's on YouTube as well. Thank you, Summer Shield. Thank you. Yes, her voice was very nice, very, very calm, very soothing. Hopefully, she will get through whatever kind of rough patch she's in. Hopefully, she's not into drugs or nothing like that. She doesn't appear to be, but sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover. Now, let's get to some more DC residents who are appreciative of what Trump is doing with the actual, with the takeover, okay? All right, I got more than I had in my video that you guys may have seen.
Do you not understand that this is what the residents want? I'm not talking about the bougie upper echelons, bougie blacks. I'm talking about the everyday grandmas that have to deal with these homeless people peeing and pooping on their steps, and then they have to clean it up. They don't feel safe when they walk into their neighborhood. The gangs and the dope boys are just standing around the corner, you know, like, do you not understand this is what they want? I remember working with a community leader and somebody had just gotten shot. This is like 5 years ago. And I remember her praying and she said, Crystal, we're going to have to invoke the National Guard. And that was so foreign to me. Now I understand the shit. These people are helpless. And I'm not talking about the bougie black people that live in their gated communities with their new bills. I'm talking about the everyday grandmothers. And I'm so glad that President Trump cares about them.
Right on, exactly. Everyday grandmas, everyday regular normie people, not the transplants from Iowa who've been in D.C. for 2 months. What's it, the Adams Morgan? We're talking about like regular people, regular everyday normies. They're tired of the crime and the violence. They're tired of these YNs wreaking havoc on the city with zero accountability. They're done. They're sick. They're tired. They had enough. And like I said, DC been crazy for, like I called it, Dodge City, dead cops, deceased children. DC been like that for a long time, especially during the crack war. Oh my God. Crack war time was crazy across Black America. Crack war time was just something else. And that had an impact across the whole country in every black place. It's not as bad as crack war time, but it's getting close to it. It's getting mighty close to it. Okay, crack war time, you had like 400 murders in a year in DC. And let's be clear, DC is not that big. DC is like, what, 600,000 people in it? It's not that big. So for a small place, you have a lot of crime. And it's not just centered in the black areas, it's happening to everybody. And that's a problem you got to deal with. And even if it was centered in the black areas, most people that's going to be affected are going to be innocent victims. So I think everybody should want innocent victims to get some justice. Okay, so now I played this one before. This was a really good one, though. This is really, really good. And me being from Virginia, spending quite a bit of time inside of D.C., inside of Washington, D.C., the city, I know a D.C. accent when I hear it. He got it all day long. So when I'm listening to the so-called protesters, I'm not hearing any kind of D.C. accent. I've not heard one person screeching, hooting, and hollering against ICE with a DC accent at all. And if y'all have heard that, y'all please send it to me. I love to check it out. But watch this.
Man, down the city is quiet as a church mouse, young. I came all the way down Pennsylvania Avenue this morning. So peaceful, young. I don't smell no weed, young.
Hey, let's pause right there. Some of y'all didn't like when you said I don't smell no weed, but most regular people do not like to just go outside and smell weed. That's not really a thing that we enjoy. Now, my thing is, okay, if you want to smoke your weed, why you got to do it right in front of a crowded place with people? Why you got to smell like weed in the mall? And I hate y'all that smoke weed and then get on the airplane. Actually, if you smell like weed, you shouldn't be able to allow it to get through TSA, in my humble opinion, because I'm not trying to be on the airplane with you and you smell like a whole Cheech and Chong movie. I'm not trying to have that happen. But anyway.
I don't see no homeless people. I mean, I came all the way through the southeast side, all the way down here. You can see now I'm at the White House jump, man. It's quiet, yeah. It's a shame that it takes somebody to have to sit in your classroom in order for you to be in order, yeah. Because that's what it feels like, yeah. You gotta be babysitted to do your job, yeah. Stuff been out of control for years. You gotta do better, yeah. You gotta do better, yeah. And mainly, young, you got the problems. It's us, man. It's always us giving everybody a bad name, yeah. We'll see how long this lasts, yeah. How many murders was it last night? How many carjackings was it last night?
Let's pause. One common thing you're going to hear from the supporters of what Trump is doing is about the carjackings. That appears to be a very uniquely DC thing.
Talk to me. And y'all keep on posting all these data numbers and things of that nature that y'all see everybody else reposting. The stuff that came from the Metropolitan Police Department and the mayor, yeah. Let me tell you something, yeah. Let me tell you something. You can't be that stupid. You can't be, man. Who enters that information to get that data analysis, yeah? People do. You can enter whatever numbers you want to make whatever report show what, but you can't hide the crime, young. You can't do it. Let me give you something to break it down to you for those that don't understand. I retired from UPS, right? So what they used to do to play with the numbers or whatever, we have mission packages. You'll have drivers over the hours. They'd go in and enter the information and the report would show whatever they needed to show to keep their bonus that week for their bosses not to fire their ass. So stop believing that stuff. And I don't know if you ever had to deal with the DC government, young, but they suck, young.
He's saying young as in a young person. That's DC slang, young or mo. If you get called young or mo, it's just like saying, bro.
They have got a lot more better now.
Yes, 100%. That is a 100% DC accent. Young, Bama, luncheon, Ja luncheon. That's all DC stuff.
The officers have did what they had to do and got all of these people out of the government and got rid of the riffraff and things of that nature. People actually do work now. Let me give you this for example, right? You got carry and conceals or whatever that were being issued by the DC separate department that was handling the gun licensing and things of that nature. They went from turnaround time for like 4 months, 5 months for you to have to get a gun registered in DC and get a carry and conceal to 2 weeks. It used to take you 3 months just to get an appointment to talk to somebody and take your information and your gun down there. Now, you go online right now and they got appointments available tomorrow. How does that happen? What changed? You put some fire under their asses and now they want to do some work.
Exactly. So, shout out to my man right here, a DC native, obviously. I can hear the accent. Like, I got family that sound just like him. I got family born and raised in DC, and that's how they sound, just like that. And I got other family in West Virginia that sound just like Randy Moss, real country. It's funny how, depending upon where you grew up, it's going to be how you talk. It'll be your vernacular, your dialect, whatever you want to call it. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got another one. Okay, we got another one. Let's check this out.
Trump has done it again. Have you seen the latest videos of DC? The sidewalks are spotless, no trash on the streets, no crowds of people stumbling around. It is peaceful, clean, and honestly, it is refreshing. The locals seem happy. So far, I haven't seen a single video of a resident complaining. The only ones upset are people who don't even live there and just hate Trump. At the end of the day, everyone deserves to feel safe in their own community. Trump has...
Exactly. So shout out to her. Shout out to her. Everybody sees it. Everybody, like, people that are just being real. You might not like Trump. You might hate Trump, whatever the case, but you just got to be real and understand what's going on. Okay. Now, speaking about you might like Trump, you might not like Trump. This young lady is in the camp of those who doesn't really like Trump, but is still going to give him his credit for doing a very good job with the DC crime situation. Check it out.
It's quiet as fuck in my neighborhood. I've lived around here for years, and it ain't been this quiet in forever. Y'all like, oh, the police ain't doing nothing. They just standing around doing nothing. What you...
See, you hear the DC accent? They ain't standing around. That's DC all day long. Let me start from the top.
It's quiet as fuck in my neighborhood. I've lived around here for years, and it ain't been this quiet in forever. Y'all like, oh, the police ain't doing nothing. They just standing around doing nothing. What you expect them to do? What do they make dreams for?
I want to get that music.
I want Trump to come to this city, but now he's here. Y'all the reason. Y'all just gave him a reason. I don't like that fool, but I ain't mad at this. I haven't heard gunshots in like 4 or 5 days, and I usually hear them every night. The cops are all over this city, and if you don't see them doing anything, you know why? It's because the fools have gone into hiding. The minute that they leave and get off these streets, oh, the niggas coming back out again. So I'm going to enjoy the peace while I can, because I'm not out here breaking the law. Y'all been in the street murdering kids. Y'all been in the street murdering innocent people. We gave the mayor a chance to do something, and the chief of police. Neither one of them did anything. Y'all want the cops to put on a show, so y'all had something to put on social media. But y'all put them YNs on social media all the time.
There you go. So, I mean, everybody's saying the same. Everyone who is being real is saying the exact same thing. We needed this, long overdue. The YNs are crazy, carjacking, killing kids. We need this because we got a serious problem. And this woman was a victim of a crime. I think some of her family may have been impacted. Maybe somebody got killed. I'm not quite sure. If you guys know the full story behind this woman, you let me know in the comments. But another person saying the same thing.
Hear from city leaders and others that crime is actually down. Are you seeing that?
No, I'm not seeing it. We're seeing carjackings, the violence in the communities. So we were advocating then for the National Guard to come out, but they said there was no need. But think about how many lives could have been saved just having them on the scene.
And Asia says still to this day, she's not heard from one detective about those crimes committed against her family. Now for Tempe Satcher, another D.C. resident, her son BJ was gunned down in a random drive-by shooting on the way to work 2 years ago, and she does not feel that crime has calmed down.
Just today, a young lady was shot over on 15th Street in Northeast D.C. Does that seem like crime gone down? With all the things that are going on with our president, sending the National Guards out, I don't have a problem with that personally, because if MPD can't do it and they need help, then I'm glad they're able to get the help.
Exactly. Exactly. So the only people who are against this are those from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, who arrived in D.C. yesterday with a crazy student loan debt on their back, who don't know anything about they don't know anything about DC. They don't know what the problems are. All they know is Orange Man bad. That's all they know. But the residents, people that actually live there, been there their whole life, and have been affected by the crime, understand what's going on. So they're going to say something else. Okay. But yeah, shout out to them. And if you like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, the DC people I mentioned in the communities, regular normies, that's one group. The recent transplants, the government people, those kind of individuals, the leftists, that's a whole different world. They live different lives altogether. And when they do come together, it's often clashes, gentrification and stuff like this. Here's what the people who don't like what's happening right now will do to those who've been there for a long time. Okay, we got a neighborhood set up. They have block parties. Occasionally they're playing loud music or whatever. Okay, let's not have any more block parties because my 1,000-year-old dog that's disabled has anxiety and you're messing with my dog's circadian rhythm. That kind of stuff goes on in these places. And I'm being dead serious. That's the only time they meet is when there's conflict for the most part. But anyway, now these people who I talked about, they have the crazy dogs and the super liberals, they're afraid of what's happening. They're truly afraid, which is why they're so quick to protest.
I've never seen people in Washington scared the way they are now. I've never seen people in Washington as scared as they are now. They are scared to talk. They are scared to pop their head up. They are scared to be noticed. They don't want to be on his radar screen because they fear that he will use his power against them. When I call people to talk to them and quote them in a story, they say, hey, I can't be on the record anymore. I have a kid who works in the government. I have a brother who has a federal grant. My law firm doesn't want me to talk. I'm scared, they say. I don't want to be prosecuted. I've never seen that before in Washington. There's never been a situation where adversaries of the president, Democrat or Republican, felt afraid in the same way we're seeing now across the board to speak their mind.
Now, I think maybe we've seen that before. And when we saw it before, it was truly unwarranted, which is when Trump first came in office in 2016. Russia. Everybody getting indicted. Everybody getting Roger Stone getting his home raided by the feds middle of the night for no reason. So you're not really being honest, or you're just not really counting others who have had similar feelings to what you're describing right now. Also, let's not act like some of these actions against these people are not warranted. Let's not act like it's all not warranted. It's all warranted. These people have been corrupt for a very long time, and it's time they get rooted out of the federal government for the betterment of all of us. Yeah, exactly. Somebody said it. Next, only the lawbreakers are afraid. If you're doing the right thing, then what do you have to worry about? Don't worry about nothing. You're totally fine. All right, but let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Y'all give me a second, and let me load everything up. This is going to be Victor Davis Hanson talking about Trump breaking the Democratic Party. I think that's correct.
Trump's greatest legacy, he broke the Democratic Party. And he exposed it for what it was. It was a bi-coastal elite party with a bunch of billionaires who spend lavishly and a bunch of subsidized poor and a professional class that feels frustrated. They make $200,000 and $300,000 a year, but they live in these blue cities that are very expensive and they can't buy their beautiful home. That's what the Mondami constituency is. Frustrated young white professionals. And then they've lost the working class. It's not just they have lost the muscular classes, Hispanic muscular classes, black males, white. As I said before, if you look at 2016, 20, and 24, Donald Trump's white vote, it's pretty constant. And he did not win the popular vote in 2016 or 2020. And his voting, and yet he did win the popular vote and the Electoral College in 2024 with the same percentage and actual numbers of white voters. So what happened? He picked up some women, he picked up some young people, and he got 55% of Hispanic males, and he got about 25% of black males, and he picked up another 10 to 15% of Asian males. And how could that be if he was supposed to be a racist according to the Democrats? It happened because they don't like, it's not that they're just people. They don't want to be talked to. Nobody wants to be talked to.
Right on. So what he's saying right there is right on point. Oh, he's racist. He's this, he's that. But the Democrats don't realize that they have alienated large swaths of the nation. They think that they are the people's party. They think that they are the righteous ones and the good ones and the smart ones. But we, the people, think differently. We, the people, don't believe that. But if they want to keep on believing that, that's fine. All they're going to do is keep on losing in the future. Okay? Democrat. This is, I believe, Nina Turner. Y'all let me know this is her. Because some of these names I forget. I think this is her. And she was popular a while back I think she was like a big Bernie Sanders supporter. Yeah, she was a member of Cleveland City Council from 06 to 08, and then a member of the Ohio Senate from 2008 to 2014.
Democrats are delusional. Yeah. Really. I mean,
You said in 5 seconds, it took me 45.
Right. they delusional.
TLDR?
Yeah. I'm just... Hypocrisy is caught up with the Democratic Party, and they don't know how to deal with it. For everything, and I don't agree with President Trump for about 99.9%, because I'm holding out that 1% that him and I are going to agree on something. I want it to happen, God knows.
Well, they got I feel like he would really like you.
I think he would too. The Donald, okay, go on, call the sister. we can talk it out. But this is the thing. Democrats... People hate hypocrites.
Yeah.
And it's just really caught up. When you talk about the cultural swing and all of that, and people realize, let me give an example. As much as Democrats decry President Donald J. Trump on democracy. Mm-hmm. Now, I wish Democrats really did give a damn about democracy. I wish they did. Me too. But let me tell you what they did in 2024. They propped up President Biden. They propped up Bidenomics, even though the majority of the people were saying we can't afford stuff. They did not have a real primary. Then you got President Obama and George Clooney pushes President Biden out of the race, along with Representative Nancy Pelosi. That gang.
They took his hand in his arm.
And then you don't. And then you in certain states, you kick off the ballot. Democrats. Yeah. People like Congressman Dean Phillips, who is the only actively elected Dem who had the courage to run. You mess with Marianne Williamson. You mess with people like Dr. Cornel West, et cetera, et cetera. Democrats did that, not Republicans. So it's just examples of people. I think people are over the hypocrisy. And because in the United States of America, we only got 2 parties, which I think is insane to ask over 300 million people to pick from the 2. The pendulum keeps switching back and forth to both of them because I believe most people in this country don't really have a home.
Okay, so then again, that is Nina Turner. She was in Ohio politics for a long time. And I think at one point she was like a really big Bernie Sanders supporter, kind of like a communist. Now, the thing about a 2-party system, I hate when people say that. It's just not true. Elon Musk said the same thing. Elon, it's not true. There's more than 2 parties in this country. There's a lot of parties. There's probably hundreds of parties. And it's just a matter of the Democrats and Republicans being the biggest and the most well-funded with the most people in both that actually have any kind of power. If you start a new party, you're just going to add on to all the other parties, the Libertarian Party, the Green Party, the spaghetti head can noodles in my bucket party. If you start something and get one person elected into office, okay, now what? You got 99.9% Democrat, Republican. You're the 1%. So where do you fit in? You got a caucus, meaning you have to vote with one party or the other. Hence, Rand Paul being a libertarian, but basically being a Republican on paper because of how you vote. Same thing, Bernie Sanders, an independent, but a Democrat because of how you vote. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that whole thing about the 2-party system. It's just not, it's a misnomer. You're not telling the full story. Now, this is going to be Beto O'Rourke, kind of echoing the whole delusional Democrat thing by praising Zohran Mamdani. And we saw Zohran's dream store, the ideal store in Kansas City, closed down because nobody was going there. What did they spend? $29 million on this taxpayer-funded store in a so-called food desert. You know the funny part about that? Hold on, let me see if I can pull that up. The funny part about that is that there's a grocery store 5 miles away from here. 5 miles away. So you mean to tell me that having a grocery store within 5 miles makes you a food desert? I don't understand. 5 miles is not that far. Oh, because you can't walk there, that's a problem. You catch a bus, catch an Uber, and y'all be getting Uber Eats, Big Bag Snacks. It's not a big deal for a store to be 5 miles away. It's okay. It is okay. Like, what are you going to do in a non-first world country where ain't no grocery store? What you going to do? Or if it's even further away? Anyway, I'm getting triggered. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video.
Morning.
Do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. So remember this store out there in Kansas City, Missouri, the Sunfresh? It's in a low-income area. They were struggling for a long time. The city put $29 million of taxpayer funds into this store only for it to close, which was inevitable from the very beginning. These things always happen like this. It's always the same story. The neighborhood cannot sustain this kind of store. And I don't want to go there no way. If I lived in this neighborhood, I would not want to go there. I would go 5 miles away to the Walmart or wherever that is.
This is a story we've been following for weeks now. That store has struggled since it opened, finding it difficult to turn a profit and dealing with crime in the area, keeping customers away.
Absolutely. So we've listened to the voices of neighbors and employees who shared their concerns about that store.
A lot of people hanging out, drinking, drugging, having sex, just going to sleep.
It's just people have to feel safe to come inside the doors. And if they don't feel safe to come in, then it means that we may not have a job here in the next 90 days.
The store was first brought to our area as a solution to a food desert. Now, since it opened in 2018, the city has spent time and money to help pay the store's bills and deter crime.
And today we also heard from Quentin Lucas, the mayor, about that, who said today's closure was a surprise to him, too.
All right, there's more to it, but you get the idea. The store has closed. It was going to close down. It was doing badly. They didn't know when it was closing, and now it is officially closed down because of nobody really going in there to buy anything. People go in there to steal. They steal all day long, but a store cannot survive if people just steal everything and or if they don't buy anything. Even if they don't steal, you still have to purchase things. So you can't survive with what they were doing. Okay. But now let's go here. Here is Beto talking about Zoran, giving him his praises. And part of Zoran's platform is the taxpayer-funded grocery store to solve food deserts. What happened in Kansas City will most certainly happen to New York as well. It's going to be a big waste of your tax dollars. I'm telling you right now. And I saw a poll. Hold on. I know I'm kind of getting all over the place. But I saw a poll that said 23% of conservatives in New York support Zoran. I don't know if I believe that. What do y'all think? I think that's BS. You think it's legitimate? Here's a poll right there. So look, this is from Cyan poll. Choice for New York City mayor if they voted today among conservatives. Zoran, 23% of the vote. 23% of the vote from conservatives. Cuomo, 18%. Curtis Lewa, 40%, which is good. But again, this is among conservatives. Eric Adams in last place. That's a bad sign. You want more support for the incumbent rather than this guy. Zoran has more support than the incumbent and the person who would probably most likely become the mayor aside from Zoran. I like Curtis Lewa, but he doesn't have a chance in New York City. So what do y'all think? Are those numbers accurate, inaccurate? Let's go back to Beto.
What are your thoughts on Zoran Mamdani?
I think he's one of the most exciting people in American politics, bar none. The joy with which he ran his campaign, he just looked genuinely excited to be with the people that he wanted to serve, and so often turning the microphone over to them. I mean, when's the last time a politician willingly gave up a microphone to somebody else who wanted to speak? But I think he sought to listen to and learn from those who he wanted to lead in New York, and he presented these really bold, clearly defined solutions to their problems. This is the most expensive city to live in America. Hey, what if we freeze the rent if you're eligible for it? How about buses are free? You can't get fresh and healthy food for your kids. What if the city got involved in helping you to get that done? There wasn't,
Look, you're getting really excited. I just want to stop you right now. Yeah. I don't know if you saw, the New York Post just dropped, this news article, but I mean, we can lift this from the interview if you want. Zoran Mamdani's mom has an apartment that is worth $2 million. So he might have grown up in an apartment that has more than one bathroom.
God forbid.
Okay, so I guess they were trying to say that's not really a big deal, that his mom is super rich, that his parents are wealthy. I guess they're trying to say it's not really a bad thing. Anyway, So what do you think about Beto? Why am I seeing Beto O'Rourke all of a sudden again? I saw him in 2019 a lot. 2018, 2019, definitely 2019. Why am I seeing him 6 years later? Like it's so weird. Like, are they messing with time? Why are they bringing that guy back out from the dead? Where they dig his body up from? Somewhere in Tejas, as he calls it. Anyway, speaking of Texas, this is Barack Obama praising the Democrats who left Texas to so-called protest the redistricting. Oh, it's gerrymandering. Okay. Now talk to California, Illinois, every other state in the nation that does the same thing that they're trying to say that Texas does. Let's check it out.
We all recognize is we can't let a systematic assault on democracy just happen and stand by. And so because of your actions, because of your courage, what you've seen is California responding, other states looking at what they can do to offset this mid-decade gerrymandering that is highly irregular and is not what we should be doing to balance out the maps for this upcoming election. And I think we became a little bit complacent over the years. We assumed that things would continue to get better, that our democracy would become more inclusive, that it would become more fair, that we'd make it easier for people to vote rather than harder for people to vote, that the votes would be counted rather than suppressed. And
that's enough from Barack Obama. I'm done. One thing about Obama is that I think maybe he would be a little bit outdated if he ran today. That slow talking, that pausing, the MLK, that ain't really going to work, man. We want to get straight to it. We don't got all day. Time is money. You on the phone scrolling. Here you are pausing there 2 seconds for 10 seconds. I don't got no time for that. But what do y'all think about Barack Obama supporting the Texas Democrats who left because they wanted to just pause? Because all they're going to do with the thing in Texas is pause it. They're going to pause the redistricting, and then they're going to keep going forward at a certain point. Now, here's what this woman thinks. I'm going to say young lady. Here's what this woman thinks about the redistricting. She thinks that it's cheating, okay? I'm going to play this, and if you agree, disagree, let me know in the comments. Check it out.
Well, for one thing, it's unnecessary. We're not supposed to be doing this in an off. It's after the census every 10 years. I don't want to be manipulated by Donald Trump. And also, it's going to disenfranchise many people that need to have their voices stood up for. They're going to lose their chance for representation, and that's not right. And frankly, I think redistricting is cheating. Well, for one thing, it's...
Okay, so is it cheating? How is it cheating? First you said, well, it's off time because normally it's every 10 years. Now, last I checked, there wasn't any law that said you had to do it every 10 years. It's just typically when it's been done. That's first. But second, you say that it's cheating. How is it cheating if they normally do it every 10 years? Make it make sense. It's not cheating. Actually, you're talking about serving the people. Maybe the people that are in these new districts to be formed don't want to be represented by those who are in their area right now. Maybe they want to go to a better place. So why would that be a bad thing? And if it's cheating, then why do all the Democrat states do the exact same thing? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, man. Look, if you're going to play by rules, if there's laws that we're going to play by, let's play by them. Don't tell me there's an unwritten rule in the books and that I got to follow it. But whenever you want to break the rules, you do it. Or whenever you want to break unwritten rules, you do it. So yeah, shout out to her. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all the good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, this is going to be Kamala's stepdaughter, Ella Emhoff. Okay, I'm glad we don't have Kamala in there because I tell you what I don't want to see is this individual anywhere near the Oval Office. I don't know about y'all. Maybe some of y'all are into that. Okay, this young lady wearing a thermal. Listen, whatever you into is fine, but I don't really want to see that. Now, while wearing a thermal in the summertime. She says that she's facing some kind of climate crisis. Let's go ahead and hear her out.
I feel disgust at what's going on in the world around genocides, the loss of rights, the loss of health care, the just general fear that everyone has surrounding affordability, their lives, their livelihood, like everything. It's just, it feels so big. I think everything with the environment is really fucking getting to me. And it is I experience a lot of climate anxiety, like a lot of us do. It's not funny. It's just like, it's one of those things, it's not funny, but you just like nervous laugh about it because it's scary. It is. It's all of these things are happening, and like what besides the small things we can do in pushing for change and fighting and protesting, and it's really hard not to sit in those moments where it just feels so heavy.
Okay, there you go. So again, this is Kamala Harris's stepdaughter, Ella Emhoff, talking about she feels climate anxiety. What's that? Worried about weather? Is that what we're doing? Sitting up at night? Maybe that's like back in the day when you get a hurricane coming. It's like, oh man, hopefully it don't hit too much. It might be category 5, category 4. Like, what are we talking about exactly? What is climate anxiety? What is climate anxiety? Human beings are pretty arrogant to think that we could just control the weather. Like, we could just do whatever we want to do. And nah, that's not really how it works. If you give money to Greta Thunberg, Al Gore, that's not going to change the weather. All right. It's not really going to do it. So ain't no point in having the so-called climate anxiety. Hey, Miss UCG, that's what she said. Climate anxiety. Okay. This woman says, hey, women, break up with your Republican boyfriend. Okay. I want to hear this one. I really do.
Break up with your Republican boyfriends. Ladies, I don't think you understand the amount of social capital that you hold. By continuing to date these Republican men or not political or didn't vote guys, you are inadvertently supporting this movement with 1, your body and your affection, and 2, not allowing these men, usually who I'm speaking on, men, to understand the consequences of their actions. They voted against you. They voted against your body. They voted against your rights. And here we are. I'm saying we because I used to be guilty of it too, supporting and getting into relationships with the people that hold these values deeply. Even if they say that they didn't vote or they're not into politics, there is no such thing anymore. Either you're about what's going on or you're vehemently against it. I just feel like I wish I could go back and tell 22-year-old me, like, it's not worth being in a relationship with someone who sees the world so differently than you, who votes against you so severely. It's never worth it. Anyways, if you want to,
I don't want a t-shirt, thank you. And listen, I don't want a t-shirt, thank you. But let's just talk about what you said right there. Let's just get into it. Okay, listen. Just because somebody's different than you politically, it doesn't mean they're a bad person. It doesn't mean they voted against you. And what I want to know is, what does voting against you mean? How am I voting against you if I'm voting Republican? Because if you're a Republican, you want stronger borders. You want to get the illegal immigration under control. And a lot of women have been attacked, have been human trafficked, all of that by the illegal aliens. Okay, so we're trying to help protect you. We're trying to help protect this country. And if the liberals have their way, there'll be no more USA. So we're trying to protect this thing that has given you the ability to be in your car and just talk for no reason. Your nice shiny phone and your Wi-Fi and the internet and the 5G and the 2G and the 3G. You could do all of that because of the country that we maintain, because of us being here, protecting you, working for us, which works for you. So look, if you want the nice comforts you have, the nice easy life you have to go away, then keep voting the way you're voting. If you want to keep things going pretty well, go vote the other direction. That's what I would say. So yeah, shout out to her. What do y'all think? Should you break up with your Republican boyfriend, husband, or whatnot because he thinks differently. Or how about this? I got a novel idea. How about, young lady, you just join the team, become Republican, join us. I think that would solve a lot of your problems right there. All right. Shout out to her. What do y'all think? Should she stay over there, stay with the losing team, or roll with the winners? Y'all let me know. Exactly. Hey, you know what? What she could do, get back in the go to the protest where they got the pots and the pans clinking. Y'all just join forces, get in the kitchen and stay right there and don't do no more talking on the internet. That's what you should do. But I'll keep on going. Now, this guy says he left MAGA. Now, I'm not sure if he's telling the truth or not, because on the internet, I've seen all type of stuff that's completely fake. But y'all let me know what you think. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Hi, I'm Anthony, and I left MAGA. I supported Trump because I thought he would stand for the values that I supported. I left Trump because I learned that he didn't. I'm speaking out because of the immoral and unchristian and evil immigration policy that he is currently pushing. I realized it in his first term, which is why I left. But what is currently going on has forced me to have to speak out about the atrocities that he is currently committing. I hope that others will be educated and learn that what is currently happening is not what we've been told. He's lying to us, and we need to speak out. We need to say something. Thank you.
Okay, Anthony, you know what? I'll say something nice. That's a great name. Fantastic name. I'm Anthony too, so you get cool points right there, but you're losing a few more cool points because of what you said. Okay, are you lying? It kind of sounds like it. First you said, well, I left MAGA because of the whole immigration thing that's happening right now. Then you said, well, I saw it in the first term, but that's why I left. So did you leave in the first term or are you leaving right now? Which one is it? Also, how would you just find out after he becomes elected in 2016 that he was going to be hard on illegal immigration? Wasn't this whole campaign built the wall? Wasn't that like the whole theme? Wasn't that the whole theme in 2015, 2016? Build that wall, build that wall, build that wall. So then you say, oh, I didn't hear the campaign. I just voted for him. I didn't know anything. And then when you start talking about building the wall, I didn't want to support him anymore. I'm not believing your story. I think you're just a regular person, regular normie, trying to dissuade young conservatives from being conservative by giving them your testimony. The problem is your story is kind of janky. Your story has Swiss cheese holes in it. So tighten the story up and come back and holler at us. Talking about something. Yeah, I left in the first term, but now I got to speak out. Okay. You got to speak out 10 years later. Were you even old enough to vote in 2016? Like you're about 25 years old. You're between 25 and 30. So it's 2025 right now. 2015, 10 years ago, you would have been 15 years old, maybe. I'm not really buying it. What do y'all think? Is he telling the truth, not telling the truth? Give me your thoughts in the comments below. All right, here's another one, another confused liberal. We got our good friend to the channel, James Klug, Klug. You guys, please subscribe to him on the YouTubes, anywhere that you find him on the internets. But again, his name is James Klug, Klug. He's interviewing a woman about Medi-Cal, all the illegal aliens on it, whatever they got going on. And she seems kind of confused about what's happening with that particular system and how the illegal aliens get helped. Check it out.
In California right now, and illegal immigrants get free health care in California.
I don't believe it. I
like me to show you?
Healthcare, and they don't get free health care. They
like
get
me to show you?
Medicaid, you know? I mean, that's...
Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah. They get Medicaid?
I think they do.
That's health care.
Yeah, that's health care, but I don't think it's free.
In California right now, and illegal immigrants get free health care in California.
I don't believe it. I
like me to show you?
Healthcare, and they don't get free health care.
Would
They
you like
get
me to show you?
Medicaid, you know? I mean, that's...
Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah. They get Medicaid?
I think they do.
That's health care.
Yeah, that's health care, but I don't think it's free.
Okay, yes, it is. Okay, that's the whole point. And you said it from the beginning. Or they get Medicaid. And then they had to tell you, well, yeah, that is healthcare. Oh, well, no, I don't think it's free. Lady, just stop. I see your sign. Your sign says Trump is 4F, fraudulent, felon, fascist, PDF file, and then something else. Okay, you got a bunch of stuff going on. Listen, at the end of the day, there are illegal aliens in this country getting free services. Well, it's not free. We, the taxpayer, pay for it, but they utilize it for free. They're taking up emergency rooms, taking up housing that's paid for by the government sometimes. They do a lot of things that we, the people, pay for. And we, the people, are tired of it. That's why we voted a different direction. In part, it's not just that. There's more to it than that, but that's a big piece of it. And I'm glad we went a different direction. I'm glad we don't have Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or anyone else like that in office anymore. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, this right here is a good video. This is a good message. Y'all pay attention, please. Check it out.
No kings. Unless it was during the pandemic when all the mom and pop businesses were shut down, but the government said it was totally fine for all the major super rich corporations to continue operating. But I didn't really care because as long as I could get my Starbucks and go to Target, I was fine. No kings. Except during the pandemic when we told people that they would lose their job unless they took a certain medical product, or they couldn't even go into certain restaurants without vaccine paperwork. That was crazy, but I didn't really care because I just complied. No kings. Remember when we also told people that they had to not visit their loved ones that were sick and dying in the hospital, the elderly? They had to die alone. That was really sad. We shut down the schools, completely wrecked the developmental learning for a whole generation. I mean, that was tragic, but we don't really talk about that because that's over now. New outrage, no kings. Remember when we were told over and over if we got that medical product, we for sure would not get sick. And even though the people that got it immediately did get sick, we were for sure told they wouldn't spread it. And then that gradually became, well, like 95%, like 75%. Okay, there's no evidence it does what we told everyone it does, but we've already made everyone take it that would anyway. And no one really cared because it's new outrage time, no kings. And do you remember during that time, anyone who tried to bring attention to these issues on social media was censored or their account was banned? And limiting free speech at that time seemed okay to me. I didn't really think about it. No kings. You don't hate authoritarianism. You just hate what you're told to hate by the algorithm and the news outlets. Be so for real. I just wish the anti-authoritarian energy was present during actual tyranny from both the federal and local governments during that time.
Right on. Hold on. Yes. Right on. The lockdowns right there. It's crazy because people from the same places where they had the lockdowns, like California especially, long lockdowns, you had to show papers to get into a restaurant. Really? Y'all did that? I never. Papers to get in the restaurant, the dumbest of times. The absolute dumbest of times. I'm seeing kids play on trombones or whatnot, wind instruments with a mask that has a slot in it so you can play the instrument. Dumb stuff. Listen, what she said was right on point. The no kings and Orange Man bad. These people are just there for that. They're there for the moment. They're there because they got on their phone. They saw a bunch of videos. They got radicalized by the news. So they're there because of that reason. Once you really get down to their philosophy and ask them questions, it ain't nothing there. It's a house of cards at best, because there was never a foundation upon which you really building a true identity or a sense of purpose. They're just taking whatever they can or whatever they're given from the mainstream media and like social media influencers. That's all that it is. Social media, television, friends and family pressure. That is what's driving them, not a true desire to not have any kings or a true desire to escape tyranny. So yeah, shout out to her. That was very well said. Fantastically said. All right. Now here you go, Charlie Kirk. Some of y'all may have already seen this, but he was on CNBC. And I like when you have conservative influencers that are pretty good, like Charlie Kirk, going on mainstream platforms, especially CNBC, because one thing about CNBC, they got to be real. They have to be real on CNBC because the financial people don't play the politics games. They don't play games like that. It's like, look, tell me the truth or I'll never watch you again. That's how the finance guys are. They're not really into the fluff. So I really, really enjoy watching guys when they go on a place like CNBC. They put Andrew Ross Sorkin up there to be kind of a gatekeeper a little bit, but even he has to be real sometimes. Let's watch this.
In a post-COVID world, I'm just an idealist to believe hold on, Andrew.
You're not the left. You're not intolerant.
You know where I'm going with this. Yeah. We did not receive any apologies from the ruling class that lied to us repeatedly during COVID. The lockdowns, the efficacy of the vaccine, the mask mandates, school closures, and we just act as if it didn't happen. And I don't think the American ruling class understands the undermining of their credibility that happened when the entire country had their lives thwarted, especially young people. We're just supposed to reopen the country and be like, well, why don't you trust us anymore? Well, it's because, the Hunter Biden laptops, Russian disinformation, 50 intel operations signed this letter. And I'm making a good point here because there was no contrition.
That's just one example.
And again, I could go one after the other. No. I would say that actually COVID, to me, this is actually generational, is actually very much like the 2008 crisis in a way. Okay, that spawned Occupy Wall Street. This has sort of spawned a different sort of political.
Do you want to do Russia collusion? Do you want to do the laptop? Do you want to do? Take your pick on the way things are covered in this country.
See, that right there, that's just a real assessment of what's going on in the country. Andrew Ross Sorkin is kind of misleading, talking about 08 is like 2020. 08 was economic slowdown. 2020 was the government says don't leave your house. But again, the same people who talk about no kings, Trump's a fascist, Orange Man bad, had no problem with any of that. All of that was cool. That was totally fine. It's so weird. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, this guy is escaping Ukraine. Listen, this guy I'm about to show you is escaping Ukraine, and he's going to show you what he's bringing with him, okay? Now, I didn't know that Ukraine was like North Korea, but I guess because they have conscription, you can't escape because they would normally just conscript you. If he didn't escape, he probably would just get sent to the front lines and die, unfortunately. But let's watch.
Legally escaping Ukraine with this 25-kilo backpack, and today I'll show you what's inside. First, body spray, because even when escaping illegally, you don't want to smell like death. 25 freeze-dried meals, just add hot water and you have real food. Instant noodles for quick energy when exhausted. Energy bars, Snickers for sugar rush. 5-liter empty water container, half kilo of nuts per protein and fat. 3 power banks, 10,000 and 20,000 milliamps to keep my phone alive so I can keep filming. Dried sausages, real meal for strength, multiple chargers for after we escape, food wrap for waterproofing when crossing rivers, first aid kit, reinforced tape, fixes everything that breaks, food powder to keep feet dry and prevent infections, trekking socks, spare shirt, giant trash bags for waterproofing, spare gas canister for cooking meals, wet toilet paper and wet wipes for hygiene, dried mango for vitamins, chemical hand warmers for freezing mountain nights, multiple lighters, metal cup, waterproof zip bags, sleeping pad and sleeping bag. All of this cost me $600. Follow me to see if this gear saves us.
All right, there we go. So that's pretty grim. I may have to escape Ukraine to prevent from getting put in the meat grinder and dying in the front lines of the war against Russia that they cannot win. So what do y'all think? He got quite a bit of stuff in that bag, didn't he? He got a lot in that bag. They are, hold on. Ordy Sparrow says Ukraine are conscripting women and old men. Really? Seriously? Are they doing that? Women are getting conscripted into the war in Ukraine and old men? That's crazy. Hold on. You're right. What's that? Antara says, escape. You filming their escape? Harriet Tubman's like, you big dummy. Hey. Well, you never know. Maybe they won't find them, but we'll see. SR says all the men are leaving. I saw a lot go to Russia even. They get detained there. I would assume they would get detained and they probably go somewhere like Moldova, somewhere south. They probably won't go east. And they won't go to Belarus or nothing like that because that's a Russia satellite. So they probably got to go probably to Poland or somewhere like that. I wouldn't go anywhere east at all. Not east or north. South might be a problem because you might get close to like Crimea and all that, which is Russia. So, hey, praying for them. I am praying for them over there in Ukraine. But we got a few calls to get to, of course. We got super chats to read. The number to call is 706. There it is. 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. I got super chats on deck. I'm going to read those right quick. Then we're going to get to the calls. Hey, time's flying by. It's already almost 10:30. That's crazy. It is already almost 10:30. That's out of this world. Okay, let me go to where are we at here? All right, let me put it up right quick. There we go. Thank you to Mark Thomason for your donation. Thank you to Exotic for becoming an ABL superstar. Thank you to D. Shaw who says, did you see on X the letter that Melania wrote to Putin? I did not see that. Let me see if there is such a thing. Or if I can find it right quick. Okay. Let me see. Say Donald Trump delivers letter from First Lady to Vladimir Putin. Melania Trump's letter obtained by Fox News does not reference abducted Ukrainian children despite White House comment. Okay. I don't see the letter. Give me 1 second. I ain't trying to spend too much time trying to find it. Okay, I got it here. Yeah. Well, that ain't it. I don't got time. But maybe I'll check it out at a different time. Okay, thank you to Charmaine Bush, who says, absolutely look forward to your vids. You crack me up and speak the truth. From Vegas, from WF, I'm not sure what that is. Happily married to my hubby for over 2 decades. Cool. Congrats to you guys. That is the American dream. 2 decades of marriage. Hey, I envy you guys. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate y'all as always. Thank you to Taylor, who says, went to Japan and it showed me how screwed our society is. No homeless and spotless. You could leave your wallet on the park bench and no one would touch it. Well, you know, the thing about it's difficult to compare places like Japan to the United States because we're a very young country. How old is Japan? Japan has deep history. Very deep history. But also with Japan, there's flaws. That's not a flawless society. What's the birth rate in Japan? I know South Korea is like the lowest in the world, like 0.7. I mean, they're pretty much going extinct. Japan has a 1.2 fertility rate, 1.2. I mean, to achieve replacement, you need to have a 2.1 birth rate. They're at 1.2. And they got a high self-deletion rate in Japan. Overwork, all of that. There's flaws, but there are some really upsides to Japan as well. So shout out to them over there in that particular part of the world. Shout out to the East. You know what? I'll tell you what, though. They're some of the nicest people you're ever going to meet. The Japanese, the Koreans, Japanese, some of the Chinese, some of them, but definitely the Koreans, South Koreans, and Japanese, the nicest people ever. The men and the women. Fantastic people. I love them. But they're not perfect. Thank you to Mauricio91 who says, yeah, she sounds like she feels powerful. Thank you to Summer Shield who says, Trump wrote the beast through DC earlier, checking the work. Epic. Right on. Thank you to Sneaks who says, hey, ABL, I have missed the last couple of your live shows because I broke my back and I couldn't sit in the chair. Had to lay down my first 2 weeks, but I'm back now. Great show as always. I really enjoy your content. Well, hey, Sneaks, I'm glad you're back. And may your back, no pun intended, get all the way healed back to full health, and you have no issues with that, man. So good to see you here in the chat with us. Thank you to Mauricio who says the idea that half the country can vote to send the other half to war is insane to me. Hey, that's a really good point you made right there. Really, really good point. But let's get to some calls here. The number to call again, 706-406-3287. The number is in the description. Also at a certain point in the ticker right below me on the screen. Let's go 573 in the lounge speaker 2.
Anthony.
Yes, indeed.
Anthony Brian Logan. It's JoJo.
All righty.
How are you?
I'm doing well, man.
Good, man. I've been watching your show all night tonight, and, I try to keep up with everything. I just wanted to say a few things. It's hard keeping up with all this stuff that you got going on there. And so what I want to say is basically get down to a couple things. The chick that was screaming through the megaphone about, when they arrested the dude, and she's out there with a loudspeaker, I don't understand why she wasn't arrested. That was ridiculous, The chick that was talking about, D.C. finally being safe, and she was a Trump hater, or anyway, not against him, not for him, but then she's thanking him. That's funny, because pretty soon she'll be a Trump lover, because, keeping our country safe is what he should be doing, and that's what he's doing, and people will see that, and that's good, And so I just want to narrow this down and let you know, man, what my definition of a politician is. And so my definition of a politician is an elite Democrat who thinks that everyone is a fool and far beneath them. And I learned that from my dad, who was a Democrat from Chicago. His whole family was mobsters except him, but that's neither here nor there. That's what I learned from him. And so I want to recite a poem that I wrote in 1992. I want to reiterate a poem that I wrote in 1992. And I just so your followers on this channel understand and hear it, and I think it'll be good. Can I do it?
Go for it.
It's called The Politician's Motto, and I just explained what my definition of a politician is. So here it goes. Politicians encompassed with power divine, living their lives in a place so sublime, stepping on the little to get to the big, taking your money to fatten their pig, using the media to blind and misguide you, breaking the laws that they've made to bind you. This country was founded in God we trust. The politician's motto, in greed we lost. And I just wanted to say, I love you, man, and I wanted to say one other thing, or two other things. Beto or Roke, or Beto or Roke, I just saw him tonight on your interview. Hey, man, that dude's got sugar in his tank for real. I know it. I know for a fact, and because I can tell. And then the No Kings chick, man, she's spot on, man. Thank you, brother. Hey, I love you and all your followers, man. God bless you. Peace and love and posse amor to the Hispanic loves. Peace. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it. All right. Great call. Shout out to my man. Always got some spoken word, some poetry, all of that. I love it. Shout out to you guys with the original content for the show. You guys are the best. 786, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Mr. Anthony Brian Logan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Oh, doing very good this evening. Just wanted to say, for 2 summers, I've been to D.C. many times, more than I could count. I mean, years ago, my older brother got married to a young lady from Maryland, and they lived in Laurel. And whenever my parents had a visit, we'd go to D.C. Did so many times. And 2 summers, in 1986 and 1989, I lived and worked in the D.C. area. Especially in 1999, I was working for a land surveying company in Beltsville, Maryland, and we had a couple of jobs in D.C., including the one at the Continental Bakery, which was right next door to Howard University. And every day we had to go into that job, I would hear at least 1 or 2 gunshots. And it was crazy too when we're done for the day and we're driving back to the office. I mean, I would look out the window of our vehicle, see the Capitol building, and then you hear a gunshot. And You know, I said to myself, like, God, how many people are shooting each other around here? And this is our nation's capital?
It's crazy.
Just, yeah, it was insane. I mean, what I'm hearing now, man, I'm loving what Trump's doing in D.C. and look forward to, my wife and I were planning to go there next 4th of July for the 250th birthday of our country. But just wanted to say, you know, the bozo who threw the sandwich, he could have fed 2 of those homeless people. What was that journalist's name that was covering the drug bust?
Nick Shirley.
And the crazy lady showed at the bullhorn?
Yeah, Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley, yeah. My personal shout out to him. That's the kind of journalism America needs again. I mean, a gumshoe journalist like him. And I want to give a shout out, if I can, to the retired UPS driver Dwayne, who we saw earlier.
Yes.
And and one other thing I wanted to bring up, I didn't see you cover it, was I think the greatest trolling of all time, the ICE raid right outside of Gavin Newsom's speech in L.A.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, about to say that was probably the greatest troll. And at the same time, Karen Bass showed up and she absolutely lost it.
Hilarious.
I know. I was like, my God, that could have been done better. I mean, it was like it was to a script.
Absolutely. It was something else.
All right. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet and wish you all a good night and God bless. And I got 10,000,001 other callers coming in.
Well, thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, I did see that one about there was an ICE raid out there. What was it? Gavin was speaking, and then Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles. Oh, I know it wasn't a coincidence. This was done on purpose. It was a stunt. It's like, man, look, no one cares about you complaining over there in Los Angeles. Just get it together. Tighten up. How about that? That's what I'm saying. Too many illegal aliens all over the place, running amok, doing whatever they want to do. We're tired. We are tired. We're done. No more. It ends today. It ends now in this administration. And if you keep if you keep bringing in all these migrants just willy nilly, it's going to be a similar reaction. People are not going to like it because of all the problems that they bring. Who am I speaking to? 6.7 on the line.
Hey, ABL, it's Jenna in West Virginia.
All right, what's going on?
So on the immigration front, I know that you did the short. I happened to see the short last night of you talking about the man who, I'm so sorry, the man who unfortunately is no longer with us because he was on live. Well, did you see the Colombian TikTok influencer who was doxing ICE, I guess, and they got her while she was on live?
Yeah, I did see that one. So I didn't know that she was on live. So she was streaming, and then during the stream they got her.
Yeah, and then there was a tow truck there, and the tow truck towed one of ICE's cars as they were detaining her. It was just a hot mess. But back to the DC deportation stuff or ICE raid stuff. It is infuriating in a sense because the people that live on the outskirts of DC, for example, my boyfriend lives in Tacoma Park, which is right on the border. I mean, it's maybe a tenth of a mile from DC. And so what's happening now is the people realize, okay, we can't do our crimes here. So the burglaries and the motor vehicle thefts have gone up astronomically in Prince George's County. And Prince George's County, as well as Tacoma Park, is a sanctuary city. And Tacoma Park is issuing these notifications to the residents saying, hey, we're protecting our illegal migrants, or whatever they want to call them in politically correct terms. And I wondered, do you think at any point there's any type of like repercussion for that? Because PG County Police, they want to do their job, but their hands are tied.
Yeah, I'm not sure what can happen with that, but they need to do something because that situation is unsustainable, and it's just going to cause a lot of crime and violence. And PG already got an issue with crime and violence to a certain extent. They want to put the migrants on top of that. You're just making it worse. So I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do or how they're going to be able to navigate it, but they need to do something.
They're so brazen that he has ring footage that he'll send me. And they did the most obnoxious things. 14-year-old kids walking around the neighborhood with one of those vintage red, what is it called? Radio Flyer red wagons, stealing out of cars.
That's crazy. A red wagon. So it's like, not even trying to hide it. You got this big beacon that says, hey, we're going through the neighborhood, taking whatever we want to take. And nothing
And
happens.
they're just filling it with tools. They stole a couple cars out of the neighborhood, and they're going into people's backyards and stealing kids' bicycles.
Totally crazy.
It's wild. So I wonder, what Wes Moore is going to end up doing about that. But I would love to see a lot of people open their eyes and kind of clean all of that stuff up. But really, it's going to take a lot of people to start speaking up and acknowledging, hey, they're pushing to the outskirts and getting mad. And honestly, the residents, they can't just sit there and complain online. They got to start going to their local meetings.
For sure. Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me vent. Have a great night.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
Yeah, PG County already got problems. I wouldn't say PG like, somebody said PG like Baltimore. I wouldn't go that far. Baltimore is a whole different animal, but PG does have a lot of problems. Then you want to bring in the migrants on top of that. I say bring the guard out there if you could, but obviously that's going to be in Maryland. That's not under the federal jurisdiction the same way that D.C. is. But if they could bring them out there too. Bring them right out there to wherever they need to be in PG County, Prince George's County, to clean that up. Look, if I was Governor Westmore or the mayor, if they got a mayor, county mayor, PG, or whatever kind of Capitol Heights, any kind of city mayor, county mayor, town mayor, the governor, I would do something to get rid of the crime and the violence, or at least bring it down a notch, because you can't just keep living in this perpetual cycle of having to worry about crime, violence, and everything else. That's just not, and you're not going to be able to attract investment. You're not going to be able to attract good residents who's going to pay the taxes and keep things going. Like me being in Virginia, I had the option to move to D.C. Really, like, being in Virginia, it's easy to go to, D.C. is right there. I could have gone to D.C. or Northern Virginia, Maryland, or my options that I thought was DC or Atlanta. And I think I made the right decision to come down here closer to Atlanta. Okay, let's go 843. You don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
This is Monica.
All righty. What's happening?
Oh, not much. I was just enjoying your show.
Well, I appreciate you for that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep, I love listening to you on Saturday nights. Like, I schedule it in.
Well,
I was just calling in.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
For taking my call. I was just calling in to say they don't understand why sanctuary cities are even being allowed under the Constitution, because I feel like it's unconstitutional. And I feel like it's treasonous to our country to allow any cities to be sanctuaries for illegals, because if you will let them live in your city without them having to worry about obeying the laws of our land as far as being here illegally, then you're jeopardizing the whole country and everyone in the country, because they can leave that city anytime and go commit crimes anywhere else outside of that sanctuary city, but they can always go home to the sanctuary city and no one can arrest them for being here illegally. So do you think it's treasonous, sanctuary cities? And do you think the people that have set these sanctuary cities up should be, like, I don't know, like, held accountable in some way, like under our law of the land for doing this?
That's a very good question. And I believe that is treason, because immigration is a federal issue. You're not just, I don't know what happened, but immigration is not just a federal issue. Immigration is a federal issue. It's not just a matter of the state saying, okay, let's bring in illegal aliens. You're bringing the person not just to California, but you're bringing them inside of the USA. So once they're in the USA, they don't just have a California passport. They have the ability to go wherever they want to go. They could travel on the interstate. There's not going to be a checkpoint that says, okay, you can't leave California without a passport. You could go wherever you want. So what she's saying is 100% correct. That should be considered treason, because you are violating the sanctity of our nation's borders. That shouldn't be what you do as an individual state. Now, if California wants to secede from the union and become their own country, then do whatever you want to do. But know this, we're going to put a wall up all around California. If y'all going to bring in everybody from all over the world, y'all just stay right there. If it's going to be like that. Either you don't bring them in and let the federal government take care of that, or you become your own thing, secede from the union, and then you worry about it, and we're going to just wall you off. Simple as that. Now, shout out to my California brothers and sisters. You guys are fantastic. But if your government wants to do that, then so be it. I wish that it wouldn't be like that, but at the end of the day, stop violating our nation's borders. Stop violating our nation's sovereignty. 805 here online. Who am I speaking to?
It's Job for 9 out of California. I wanted to congratulate you on your Jubilee episode. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And living in California for a majority of my life, I totally agree with the previous caller. I think the law should definitely be changed in regards to crossing the border illegally. Instead of it being some sort of misdemeanor or civil offense, I think it should be automatically a felony.
Absolutely, 100%, because you're violating the sovereignty of the nation. So it can't just be seen as something that's insignificant. That's a very, very serious offense.
I think we should follow suit by looking to the example of other countries in regards to how they deal with immigration, meaning you can't come here and stay forever. You can't come here without actually being able to be productive within a society. I mean, when you actually travel outside and to other countries, even like Latin America, you even have to show them how much money you have in your bank account before they'll even allow you to come into the country, because they don't want you to be a burden. The other thing too that I have noticed is all of these areas that have this high crime rate, that's allowed. And the individuals who are allowing it, they have to be basically getting something. So I think there's a lot of double dealing. I think there's a lot of information that's going to be coming out, because when you start poking around in these areas and you start finding out people are getting, kickbacks from all of this activity, just like the cartels are able to proliferate all over our country. Someone's getting paid off to allow this to happen.
Of course, there's a bunch of money floating around, a lot of blame to go around, and that's a big piece of it. When that money is flowing in, it makes it unfortunately easier for this kind of thing to go on. So they need to be held accountable for sure.
I love your show. I'm going to go back into the bushes and watch it. Like I said, I can't wait to see your Jubilee. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All righty. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, shout out to California, though. Beautiful place, but it's just the leadership. A lot of political problems. A lot of just issues that are not being solved properly. That's just really the whole thing. It's a whole cottage industry in California. I believe it is, TJ. A lot of NGOs just out there just gobbling up all the money. That's all it's about. And it's terrible, but it is what it is. What are you going to do, Jack says, why is it hard to paper immigrants? Commercial activity needs ID. If you're a citizen, it's less freedom under bureaucracy. I'm not sure what you mean. Paper immigrants? What you mean, like to get them documentation to get them in here legally? Is that what you mean? I mean, it shouldn't be super easy to get into the country, because you don't want to have, bad actor, terrorists, nothing like that to come in. You definitely don't want to do that at all. You want to have, a bit of a buffer to get into the country. It should be seen as a privilege to come here, be allowed to stay here, and be a citizen. It shouldn't just be a matter of, okay, come on in, like buying some tickets to a Atlanta Braves game. It shouldn't be that easy. But under a Joe Biden, it was that easy. If you make the journey, come on in. But no more of that. No more of that. maybe we could streamline the process, make it a little bit more simple, but it shouldn't be that simple. It should be some kind of friction, some kind of buffer in between people wanting to come in and actually becoming a citizen or being allowed in for a visa or something like this. 262, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
Quentin.
All righty, what's happening?
Not much. You live right now?
I'm live right now.
Yeah, we talking about that immigration thing. It reminds me of like that club in New York where like you can get in, but you can't get in. You remember that? And the celebrities were all doing all those drugs, and it got busted in like the 90s.
Well, there's quite a few spots like that, but I understand the sentiment about, hey, let's be selective with who we allow into the country.
Right, but who are we? We're no better than anybody. You know, I don't agree with a lot of the liberal ideologies. I don't like it at all. But that's how foolish they look in California. They look just like that club in New York. You know what I mean? It's like, it looks like the World Eugenics Forum. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know. I don't see a future in it.
What do you mean?
That's all I'm saying.
Like, what do you mean exactly? Like, as far as the ICE raids, like, what are you speaking about exactly?
Well, I'm saying if everybody came here, pretend there was no fence, no wall, no nothing. We're just all walking around free, you know, no laws, no nothing. But how's that going to work? You know what I mean? What would be the utopia that would lead to?
Oh, okay.
Because I remember people used to argue about inches and millimeters for like forever. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to get anything done. You know what I mean? The only thing keeping this whole show alive is like technology. And when that goes out, you know, then what are the laws? What are the rules? You know what I mean? And I already know a lot of immigrants and I like them. You know what I mean? I like them. I love them. I have feelings for them, but I don't know what we're supposed to do. I don't know where this is going to lead to. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm better than them, but either way, it's just disturbing. I kind of feel sketchy. It's cringe. It's cringe to watch, man. But keep doing what you're doing. I love how you attract an audience.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, bye.
All righty, shout out to the caller. But yeah, let's be the exclusive club. I'll be the guy at the front. Nah, yeah, come on. Ain't gonna be no payola. You know, ain't gonna be no money at the door to be able to get in with your gun or nothing like that. No. We're not gonna do that, because if I just let you in with this gun for $1,000, that ends my whole night in one night. That ends my night in one night. My little night I got, okay. Feel Good Fridays then got ruined because I let you in with your pistol with the little money exchange. And then you go into the club and shoot it up, and now we got a problem. I lost my whole club, lost my whole night. I lost everything because of this one little instance. I would be at the front approving everybody to come on in. I'm reading your documentation. I'm looking at your background. I'm looking at your work history, your finances. I'm looking at all of that. 603, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
Wait, is this the ABL line?
Yes, it is. You're live on the air.
Hey, so I got something for you. Why is it that whenever you look at, whenever you see like people walking down the street with these disgusting, like those hair colors and stuff like that, but yet you look at them, it's like, I can tell you're a liberal. You look at these handsome dudes, and it's like, okay, you're a Republican. You know what I mean? It's like, why is that you can tell who's a Republican and who's a liberal? You know what I mean? Why is that today?
That's a very good question. And before I answer, turn your stream down in the background for me.
What's that?
Turn your stream down in the background for me.
Oh, yeah, I do that. Yep.
Okay, now the reason why you could tell is because how someone looks on the outside comes from the inside. And when you got a good heart, a good spirit, and you are doing good things for the world, that will be exhibited outwardly. But when you battling demons, when you got some bad things going on, when you're going through a tough time, that'll also be exhibited outwardly. When you got what they call stinking thinking, that'll manifest itself in your outward appearance. even if you're not necessarily the best looking person in the world as a conservative, you still look better than a liberal person because of how you are on the inside out.
Yeah. Hey, you know something? It's like, you know, I watch your videos every single day. I really do. I mean, some things I don't agree with you on, and that's fine. That's how we all are. We don't have to agree on everything. 99% of the things that you say, they're pretty true. They're pretty spot on. But it's like you just look at the ugliness of today. And, you know, the Bible talks about this, by the way, with what's right is wrong, what's wrong is right. In your opinion, ABL, when does it come to an end? When do we just say, Christ has come, this is it? When do you think it all comes to an end?
A severe natural disaster. Like, let's say we get the movie 20. Have you ever seen a movie called 2012?
Yes.
If something like that happens, then what are you going to do? All this stuff we got built up will just go away.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Noah's Ark, right?
Well, but still.
You know, go ahead.
The flood still happened, so the previous world got wiped away, and then they started anew.
Yeah. And one last thing, but one big thing. I'm, you know, we all make mistakes in lives. You know what I mean? But I'm engaged to a beautiful girl. I love this girl. She's a feminist. How do I get her to just be like, listen, I love you. Your ways are wrong. And she thinks, you know, she thinks her rights are being taken away because she's with, you know, she just does not like Trump at all. Kind of adorable. I don't know if she does get under my skin. I don't know if she just really thinks that Trump is taking away her right. Well, what do I do to convert someone over to the right? You know what I mean?
You can't really. I mean, all that I would do is just, first of all, is this your girlfriend or something like that? She gonna be who she's gonna be because as your fiance. So y'all about to get married. So if you get married to her and she is the feminist, she'll continue to be the feminist because you got married to her as a feminist. You can't get married to somebody and then say, okay, be something else. So you gotta take her for who she is. Now, if you got a family member or a friend, I would just, you know, say little things whenever you're around them and hope they go a different direction. But if you're going to be with this person every day, that's your wife, y'all going to have kids. Now it's going to be a matter of, okay, how are we going to raise these kids? You have one philosophy. I have another one. So I say good luck to you on that one, boss. You're not going to be able to change her.
Right. Well, ABL, hey, man, thanks for your time. Love what you do. I've watched your videos all the time. Love it. Keep it up, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, bye.
All right, yeah, man. So good luck. I mean, look, if you love her, if you like it, I love it. It's fine. But whoever you marry is who you marry. Don't expect there to be a change. You will not be pleased. 830, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Corrections Mike from Spring Branch, Texas.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, I just want to say you have a badass show, badass content. I look forward to it every time after I turn wrenches in my shop, have a cold beer, and always put your show on. Keep it up, man. It rocks.
Thank you, man. I definitely appreciate you for your call and your support.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the call. Great call. Great calls tonight. Very encouraging. 734, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 734, hello.
Hi, it's Taisha from Michigan. My comment tonight was just regarding the D.C. federal takeover. I think it's a good thing. I think a lot of the people that has a comment on it doesn't live in D.C. and doesn't have to deal with getting robbed, getting shot at every day, every other day, and doesn't have to deal with homeless people living on the street. If you're really homeless, you're not living on the street. You're in some type of program to try to get yourself back off the street. You're not just hanging out on the street doing drugs in tents. That's just not what real homeless people do who are trying to get back on their feet. So, you know, to all the people saying Trump just want to be a dictator, they're fools. They're not going through just the everyday of having to worry about walking down the street, getting shot at, getting robbed, and shame to them. So I like what Trump is doing as far as the D.C. federal takeover. So that was just my only comment for tonight.
I thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. Have a great night. Bye.
She right on her point. She said it exactly right. The people who have to live through all of that, the thugging, the drugging, the killing, the shooting, it's just so much. They got to do it every day. They are looking for something, someone to come in and help, something to break, something to give. Here comes Trump, like Clark Kent, Superman, saving the day. Okay, boom. National Guard, National Guard, there you go, take that. And he is solving the problem. He is at least putting a dent in the problem. And people are mad. Why are you mad? When the cries of the people have been answered, why are you mad? 513, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, my name's Shelly. I'm calling from Ohio again. I wanted to piggyback on the last two callers. The one guy asked, when does it end, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, and the next caller pointed out that the homeless people are involved with programs. Okay, so a lot of the issues we have are civil rights issues. Okay, so we don't really have civil rights attorneys on the right. And if anybody fights for their civil rights, we like to call them entitled. In D.C., hopefully, what I'm hoping is they'll go after the programs, right, that we are funding that should be helping the homeless. We want to call the homeless entitled, but technically, aren't they entitled to those programs and services that we are funding?
I mean, I'm not sure what the programs are that you're talking about.
Okay, well, like the homelessness programs, where they are supposed to provide them housing and job training and, rent and clothes and all that kind of stuff. The nonprofits that we pay to get people off of the street. We don't hold the nonprofits accountable, and we're paying them either way. The only way to hold them accountable is a civil rights, case. But that would require us to support the homeless people, to say, hey, these homeless people are entitled to the programs and services that we pay the nonprofits to provide. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it's really that in D.C. I think what's happening in D.C., man, there's not a shortage of programs. There's all kind of stuff that's out there that actually does do what it's supposed to be doing, but a lot of the homeless simply refuse the programs. So that's why when I think about it being Pam Bondi or somebody talking about it, they were saying what's going to happen to the homeless, we're going to give them treatment and housing, and if they refuse it, then that's going to be an issue. See, the people, what they want is just to be outside, smoke crack, do whatever they want. They want the freedom to not be part of society. But the problem is they refuse to actually help themselves. They're able-bodied. They refuse to help themselves. And a lot of them are on drugs. That's why they want to live life that way. They don't want the help that's given to them, aside from the food maybe, but they don't want the housing. They don't want to play by the rules, basically.
Well, I can see that being the case in a lot of the situations, but I just don't believe that's the majority of the case. Like there was one guy making the rounds on like the reels or whatever. He was kicked out of a housing program. He was a veteran for staying out too late. And I can see where the attitude is, well, if you really want the help, you won't stay out too late. But they are creating stupid rules like that so they don't have to provide the services because they get paid either way.
No, because you gotta abide by the rules. You want free services, you don't want to abide by the rules. See, that's why they don't want the services, because they gotta abide by the rules. They want to be outside, they want to be homeless.
Okay, but we have to be realistic. If an adult that is not on drugs, you mean to tell me they can't go spend the night at their daughter's house and babysit for a weekend?
See, you can't have both ways. What you want is for these people to get these services and then at the same time do whatever they want to do. But see, what you don't understand, maybe you do, maybe you don't. What some don't understand is that when they don't understand these rules are there for a reason, because you get a lot of people that just want to crash there, to go do drugs or whatever they want to do. You're not going to help them if you have these programs that have no rules or stipulations. It's the same thing as the welfare programs for food. Okay, the purpose is to give nutrition, but if we have 500 pounders being produced from this, there should be some stipulations so we don't get the 500 pounders. The purpose is not to make you be obese. It's to sustain you with good nutrition and keep you living and keep you healthy. That's the purpose.
Okay. Well, I own my home, and I pay property taxes, and they've doubled in the last couple of years to provide social services. I also have a child with special needs who has a rare syndrome, and it's all related to diet. He's only supposed to have 1,200 calories a day, or he will gain weight, and the leading cause is obesity. It's a very special diet. When the government gets involved, he gains weight. That's why I sued the school system, because they were feeding him the Michelle Obama diet, and he gained 50 pounds. I follow the programs. The programs also have rules they're supposed to follow. If we're going to hold the average American accountable, we really need to hold these services and programs accountable too, because those are the people, that's where our money's going. They're getting paid either way is my point, ABL. It's not me, I'm not making excuses for the homeless, but it is kind of odd that we just have millions of people that are homeless that weren't homeless, 3-4 years ago? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're getting priced out. Their jobs are being lost to immigrants. They're not all on drugs. I get what you're saying, but what point do we hold the nonprofits accountable is my question.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to follow the rules. You can't just do whatever you want to do. If there's a program being offered, you got to follow the rules. You can't just say, okay, give me this program, and I'm not going to follow the rules. See, the nonprofits got to do their part, but so much the actual person receiving the benefits. It can't just be, okay, nonprofits, you do whatever we ask while we do nothing. It needs to be both parties on the same page. So let's hold the nonprofits accountable and the citizens who are receiving the services. That's only fair. Yes or no? Wait. Yes or no?
Well, yeah, I do agree with that, but
okay.
I also think that the rules have to be realistic and within civil rights. You can't tell someone, we will give you this as long as you don't babysit for your daughter on the weekend so she can go to work. That they create those situations so they can kick the people out. And nobody's overseeing these nonprofits to make sure they're not still billing for these people. Nobody knows how many different services are billing on the same head. As a mom with especially
okay, but look, I got you. I got all that part about your situation, but at the end of the day, wait, excuse me, pardon me, because I got limited time. I understand what you're saying. I get it, but you can't just do whatever you want to do. There are rules for a reason, because they know these rules work. The purpose is to get people on their feet. That's the purpose. When they don't have these rules in place, the purpose of their mission is not accomplished with as much efficiency or at all. That's why they're there. And if you don't want to abide by those rules, then don't rely on the government. If you're relying upon the government, you must follow the rules. It's simple as that. There's nothing else you could do. Or if it ain't the government, if it's an NGO, you got to follow their rules. If you don't want to follow the government's rules or the NGO's rules or the apartment complex's rules, then figure something else out and don't rely upon other people that you got to actually be able to communicate with and talk to and follow rules.
Well, that's the problem. The rules don't apply to everybody, okay? Like, for example, if you're an immigrant and you have 12 people living in a one-bedroom, the rule doesn't apply to you. But me or you, we can't have 12 people in our apartment living there. The landlord's not going to get in trouble if they let an immigrant do it, but if they let us do it, they're going to get in trouble. That's my point. They're getting away with putting these ridiculous rules that not everybody has to follow, and the only people we're hurting is our fellow Americans.
You're conflating different issues, because you're talking about the illegal immigration. That's not the same. Like you're conflating a whole different ball of wax, because excuse me, pardon me. Now the illegal aliens get to do whatever they want. It's not just the government rules. It ain't just government benefits. They get to drive with no license. If I do that, I get arrested. It has nothing to do with a government program that I'm taking advantage of. It is the illegal aliens doing whatever they want to do, which is why the chief issue of this election was the migrant crisis, and why we got the ICE raids happening right now to get the illegal aliens up out of here. That's why Trump got in office. So that issue that you are talking about is being solved, and we voted for it. But I don't think if you had an election right now to vote for illegal, to vote for government programs, that anybody would say with any kind of noticeable portion of the population, let them do whatever they want to do and have no rules. But I'll give you the last point, then I got to wrap it up. Go ahead.
Okay, right. I'm not saying there shouldn't be any rules, but these nonprofits are agents of the state. The government has contracted out these services instead of providing the services directly themselves as an agency. The social services agencies have vacancies for caseworkers, but they're paying nonprofits to have caseworkers. There's less oversight and less oversight. I don't disagree about the rules, but I think we have to be realistic. I also think the only way out of this is for the right to stop calling people entitled, because we have to fight for civil rights. We have to take up civil rights issues. That's the only way we're going to be able to fight these nonprofits. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
So what do y'all think? You should be able to just show up whenever you want at a shelter or something like this. You could go smoke crack all night and come back about 3 o'clock in the morning. What do y'all think? The rules are in place for a reason. Now we're pointing about the migrants. That's a whole different issue, which is why we got the ICE raids happening. Okay, that's why we got that happening. That's why we got deportations happening. That's why that's happening, because the people saw, hey, they get to do whatever they want. I've been saying that, but that's across the board. They don't need no driver's licenses. They could be 18 deep in a 1-bedroom apartment. They get to do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. That's them with the migrants, because they're not even really citizens. They're just here. You know, that's a separate issue. But people on these programs, listen, you got to follow the rules, man. It's just as simple as that. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. I think that'll be a wrap for me tonight. You guys are the best. Shout out to y'all for being patient in the beginning when my camera didn't work. I thank y'all for that. And I'll be back live again on Tuesday on Instagram. Shout out to you guys who were there this past Tuesday on Instagram. I'll be back this Tuesday on Instagram at right around 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm here on YouTube live every Wednesday and Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern Time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank y'all for joining. You guys are the best. Y'all know I couldn't do it without you. Thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the moms for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. I got super chats. I got one more. I'll read that right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Thank you to Clay Bisbee 704, who says, I'm seeing the results of illegals today visiting deep in Oregon. This county went Trump, but not anymore. The demographics have changed dramatically. Yeah, man. Hey, you'd be surprised what a demographic shift can do. People that move to one place, they migrate to one place. You get illegal aliens and everybody else coming in. All of a sudden, the place that was one way is now a different way. Let's look at Europe over, I don't know. Let's look at Europe right now and see what it was at a previous time compared to what it is right now. How long will it be what it is? Let's look at Japan, South Korea, with very low birth rates, 0.7, 1.2. What are they going to be in the future when the Japanese are no longer there? When the Koreans are no longer there, what are they going to do? What they might end up doing is having to merge, like Korea, Japan, North Korea, South Korea, all of that might just become one. I don't know what they're going to do, because they're not the same people. The Koreans are Korean, the Chinese are Chinese, Japanese are Japanese, Russians are Russians. I don't know what they're going to do, but it needs to be something done, because when the people who made a place are no longer there in that place ain't the place no more. So we'll see. But shout out to you guys again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.